Saludos and salutations, Broncos Country, and welcome into a very special show of the Orange and Blue and Nothing Rhymes with Orange and Blue and Broncos Talk. Ladies and gentlemen, the schedule release has gone down. It is going on just as I'm currently speaking. We are going to jump straight into it, but make sure you guys have everything ready. You don't want to miss a single moment of this. It is going to be amazing. I'm excited. Our guys backstage are excited. Johnny Baki is going to be joining us on this show. I cannot wait, ladies and gentlemen. Get ready because here come the Broncos. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into a very special episode of the Orange and Blue, Nothing Rhymes with Orange and Blue, and Broncos Talk Mega Show. I am your host, Adan Diaz, and joining me on my left or right, depending on which direction you're watching us, is my co-host of always, Bronco Libre, and our special guest for today's Mega Show, Fanatic Dak. Gentlemen, how are we guys feeling today?
What's happening,
bro?
What's happening? Let's go!
Oh, ladies,
let's go!
Woo woo!
We are excited. I am going to try to find. The video I found is kind of small, and if I enlarge it, I won't be able to like it kind of like when you go full screen, it makes everything bigger, and I won't be able to see anything.
Okay.
So I'm gonna try to see if I can find it on their YouTube.
Okay.
Just give me a second. But it came out. We were kind of watching it a little bit like the beginning, and we kind of forgot we're supposed to go live. So,
whoopsies, it's that time. It's like
force a habit. It's something we have been looking forward to. I know they're doing the actual that's DNVR that I'm looking at. But you know what? Let's just go. I'm gonna just straight up open it. And then we'll watch it from there. All right. We'll get to all of our normal stuff after it. But just ladies and gentlemen,
here we go, guys.
Here we go. We are going to bring to you the schedule release video. If you haven't seen it yet, here it is. We're going to start it from the very beginning.
Ladies and gentlemen, today's The Uniquely Broncos main event is about to begin. We've got 14 challengers stepping into the arena to test their skills. Who is going to hang on to become this year's button-busting champion? We are fixing to find out. It's a tomahawk chop. That is what you call a poker face plant. You're going to need a recharge after that. Flying mutton chop. Holding on tight, down he goes, and that went about as well as you thought it would. Well, give him a silver star for trying, but nothing else. As the Brits like to say, that run was rubbish. Bull, more like Duval. Oh, a giant mistake. They are going to regret that one. It is time for our final rider there, folks. And it all comes down to this. He could go all the way. Friends, if you're not excited about this, I'm not sure you're alive.
Yes, holding up that trophy at the end of the year. Let's go. Pause it right there. So this is the actual schedule right there.
There's the actual schedule, yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, like for me, that was one of the funniest things I've ever seen. I'm sorry. Like I know I kind of chuckled during that. I was trying not to laugh. The only thing I will say is I've gotten so used to always seeing Peyton Manning in the skits. So like a part of me was kind of like I was hoping that he'd make a cameo or something, just for the simple fact that the nostalgia of seeing him in it. I think he's been in it for the last like 4 or 5
years, something like that. Yeah.
So it's like, but I loved it. I thought it was great. And very, very wisely, they stated at the very beginning that no no animals or children were hurt in the making of this video. So I haven't seen the other ones yet. So I'll be curious to when we come back either later. If we don't do it on this show, we'll definitely talk about it next week or on Friday for those of you that can join us for the Viva Los Broncos podcast. But gentlemen, on a score of 1 to 10, what would you rate it?
Overall for myself, just seeing what they've done in the past, what they've done up to this point, I love that they kept it where it's like family friendly and so forth. Very entertaining, showing that all of these teams are going to be bucked by the button busting. Because like if you remember when you were at the game, Adon, with for the Panthers this last year, that's what they had on the field. They had the button busting. Mm-hmm. So part of it, that's been a thing for the Broncos here culturally over the years, that they've always had at least one game they had the button busting. So it's just fitting that they continue that itself. And just seeing like this year, the Broncos are for real, because they're already showing that we're going to be bucking a lot of these teams off this board this year. And these teams better come prepared, because if they're not, they're going to go down, just like all these teams just showed off of this mutton busting.
Fanatic Dak, your thoughts?
Ooh, well, without Peyton Manning, I mean, it's not a 10 for me, unfortunately. but I will say this. I'll give it about a 7. It's something different. They went in a different direction in terms of the schedule release video. It's fun. I'm excited. So that's the big. It's simple for me. I mean, I'm game for it.
I will say I will give it an 8 out of 10 for the simple fact that I'm there with you in terms of the Peyton Manning thing. But I think I'm just being petty.
Hey, and that's okay, bro. I mean, we all have our what do you call it? Preferences for things, so that's all good.
Definitely. But ladies and gentlemen, just to kind of get the announcements out of the way, we're going to be just as quick as we can. If you haven't done so already, please make sure you subscribe for us here on the Orange and Blue Network. Subscribe, share, comment, and like on all of our channels, especially here on the Mega Show. This is like one of those blue moon types of shows where Nothing Rhymes With and Broncos Talk come together and they merge and they make it's like the mega powers of the 80s, if you guys, for my wrestling fans out there. Johnny Baki will be with us shortly. He is running a tad bit late, but hey, that's just how life is. Unfortunately, we can't always be on time, but I cannot wait to have him here on the show so that way he can represent the guys over from the Nothing Rhymes With side. Also, please make sure you subscribe to our sister station, which is MHRT Network. Subscribe, share, comment, and like on all of their shows. Shout out to Dubby for being a sponsor of today's show. If you use the code NRWOB10, you'll get 10% off at checkout. Of course, Dubby, as we always promote here on the show, has always been a sponsor and a supporter of all the shows here on Nothing Rhymes With. So we like to send them a big, big thanks. And of course, again, that code NRWOB10 to get your 10% off at checkout. Shout out to Dubby and the guys over at Nothing Rhymes With for the cool 10% off. And of course, for all you audio listeners listening to us out there, please make sure you show your support. 5-star reviews are always well appreciated. You can screenshot and send it to us here at either one of our socials you see here on your screen. Mine is at a 6 for 10 Mexican on Twitter. Bronco Libre is Bronco Libre 5280. And of course, you see Fanatic Dak down there. I'm sorry, Fanatic. My eyesight isn't all that great.
You're good, bro.
So feel free to send us a shout. And for those of you here in the chat, we are going to try to get to any and all of your comments and questions here on the show. If you have anything you want to ask us, please feel free. If we don't get to your question or comment, please do not take it offensively. This is a very, very big show. There's a lot of questions and comments that people want to make. So if we missed it, please make sure you point it out to us at our socials, and we will definitely get back to it. So let's just get to some of the comments here. Michael Yost saying, let's go. And he also saying there's going to be so much talking tonight. He is pumped. I couldn't agree with you.
Yeah.
He's saying should be soon. I'm getting there. Call out the Kinks. Oh, okay. I'm probably going a little bit, a little too ball. And my cousin saying Vikings at Alsos week 1, Monday Night Football. He is going to be there, and I definitely believe he is. And he, of course, right away says Cam Ward week 1. Wow, easy W.
Welcome to the NFL, Cam Ward.
I will say I want to believe it, but at the same time, when I heard that the Titans were going to be facing the Broncos week 1, to me that just screams prime time. So I think this is going to be a primetime game. It'll probably be like one of the most, like the game that anybody can watch that's not specifically designated to one location or where you need premium package or whatever to watch it. It's going to be like on the national TV where anybody can see it. So that's what I think this is going. I will say I do feel bad for Cam Ward because talk about being thrown into the fire.
Hey.
I mean, that Broncos defense is going to be running on all cylinders, and rookie or veteran, be damned. The Broncos defense guys are going to go out to eat.
When I saw this game, when it was quote unquote leaked today or whatever, and we saw that, I was like, why would you put the number 1 receiver against this defense? Do you think that they would at least have him at home or do something like that? But you know what? They're just throwing him into the wolves, like that. And then, hey, they're just saying, hey, welcome to the NFL, Rook. Like, you're going against the best defense right now in the league, and let's see what you got.
Yeah, it's definitely that number 1 overall pick versus the number 1 defense, in my opinion, going into the season. Let's see if he can hang. I truly doubt it. You know what I mean? Like, we know as Bronco fans firsthand what it means for a rookie quarterback being thrown into the fire. We look at Bo Nix, what he did last year, going into Seattle. So, yeah, welcome to the NFL, Cam Ward, but your first win ain't going to come against us, homie.
Take that L on the way out.
Take that L on the way out, like Michael Malone would say.
Now, I will say the only thing that kind of, to bring up a point, is that technically Cam Ward hasn't won the starting position yet. So don't be surprised. Yeah. Don't be surprised if the Titans do what most teams do at the start of every single training camp season, where they create like a quarterback competition, and they're going to ask them every single week, who's going to be the quarterback? Who's going to be the starter? Well, Cam Ward looks good. Will Levis, they have to respect his seniority or his time there or whatever, and it's a competition. So if it's Will Levis that steps up to the plate, I think he gives them a worst chance of winning. I think Cam Ward, even though he's a rookie, I believe that he's the better choice, because if the Titans are going to lose, they're better off losing with Cam Ward, learning the kinks and getting used to the system in the NFL, versus with Will Levis, they're going to try to, there's obviously no magic there left with Levis.
They already know what they're getting with Will Levis, you know what I mean? And
which is the whole reason why Cam Ward was selected number 1 overall. So I don't think that Levis will suit up and play week 1 as a starter. I think he'll be the backup. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah.
But if he's the starter, good luck to you.
Yeah, I think the Titans will very well just anoint Cam Ward with the starting position from the get-go, kind of how the Bears did, kind of thing. So
yeah, I'm trying to remember what key pieces the Titans added off the top of my head without Googling it.
Let me see.
They got some players, so they're not completely terrible. But however, I will say that Brian Callahan is still way, way over his head. I think Mike Vrabel should have stayed the head coach in Tennessee, and
They
I'm
added.
sorry.
It looks like they got Tyler Lockett, Xavier Restrepo as a rookie. They added Cody Barton, former Bronco. We're familiar
Oh,
with
that's
him,
right. Cody did go to
inside
the
linebacker.
Titans.
As terms of rookie, another one, Elike Omener, the wide receiver. They
Mhm.
drafted. They had some good, solid draft picks. Gunnar Halm, who was one of my favorite tight ends in this class. They also have Legarius Sneed, former Chief. Draymond Jones is another big name that they added, and another former Bronco that we're familiar with. So they have some talent there, if you want to say, but it's nowhere near the level of talent that Denver has on our roster. Let's be honest here.
So talking
Yeah.
about Draymond Jones, I used to work at this restaurant called Genghis Grill, right by the practice facility. And him and some of the Broncos would always come in and eat some of our food for takeout all the time. So like I had like all this interactions with these guys. Who was also in there? Tim Patrick, who was in there.
Nice.
Quinn Miners, I was able to make. I met Quinn Miners there one time. Like there's so many other players that have just come through, which was so cool. And they're just down to cool earth guys. People.
Yeah.
I know like some people just like fangirl over them, but like for me, like because of what I was at, no, exactly.
Yeah, I would be that dude, Rob. Sorry, being honest.
And I was just there just cooking their food, and I put on a show when I was on the grill. I put on a good show, so they always appreciate it and so forth. So it was pretty cool.
Nice. I actually ran into Draymond Jones just last college football season, the Ohio State Oregon game, and I didn't really recognize him, but I did in a way. It was kind of one of those weird things.
Yeah.
I was like, that dude looks too familiar. And then it just boom, the light went on. I was like, that's Draymond Jones. Went up to him and chatted with him first, and I said, I hope you're doing well with your new team. I kind of showed him some love. I know a lot of fans were salty about Draymond Jones. Me, on the other hand, not so much. That's just how I am.
Well, that's how I am too. Like people already know. Like I always cheer for the name on the front of the jersey, not on the back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's fair. So yeah, and it was so cool that he was just like, "Do you want to take a picture?" And then I was like, "Me?" Like opposed to me. And then, yeah, so we took a picture awesome. And all that. So it was pretty cool that he even offered. You know what I mean? Because I wasn't really expecting that. I was just gonna.
Would you guys say that Draymond Jones has fallen off a lot since he left Denver?
I would say it's safe to say, yeah. I mean, the way things happened with him leaving just didn't pan out the way he intended. I can't remember if he was dealing with injury, so I don't know if I can chuck it to that kind of say.
When he left Denver?
Yeah, no, because I know last season I think he was dealing with an injury, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, well, when he left Denver, he left because of the money. Seattle offered him a big contract, and then we were kind of like freaking out. I'm not gonna lie to you. And then Zach Allen just came.
And that was
year. So he was our saving grace.
Right.
And I remember, not to cut you off, Dak.
No, you're good.
I remember Draymond was talking so much smack, and he hadn't even suited up and played a single game in Seattle. And that to me, that just rubs me the wrong way. It's one thing to talk smack when you're, on the field, competition and all that. That's one thing. But when you start talking smack and you haven't even played, especially that, nobody in Denver did Draymond wrong. Okay. Yeah, he didn't get the contract that he wanted from management. That happens everywhere. The NFL is a business. And I'm glad he went and he got his money in Seattle. But he had nowhere near the season and the time and the accomplishment and the success that he had in Denver with Seattle, which is why Seattle just didn't bother to bring him back. And now he's trying to find a home somewhere else. And, obviously Tennessee will be there for him. But to me, I compare him to kind of like what happened with Jadeveon Clowney. Kind of like
that's a good one.
He just kind of became this guy who's just kind of floating from team to team. He could possibly be traded to another team during the season. He could be cut and picked up by another one. Like, it's in that formality. That's where I put Draymond Jones currently. So unless he has a comeback that we don't expect, I don't really see him as that big of a threat or a big deal maker going forward. That's just my personal opinion.
Yeah, no, that makes sense for sure. What you're saying. Yeah, and I
So
was just thinking.
go ahead, Dak.
No, go ahead, bro. Sorry.
Well, I was gonna say we can move on to week 2.
Let's do it.
So basically, it's an away game for the Broncos at Indianapolis, and I'm not too far from Indy, guys. I might have to make a quick road trip because I've never been to Lucas Oil Stadium. So I think I told Libre this once that one thing I want to do in my life is go to every single NFL stadium. And so far I've been to about 3 or 4. So Lucas Oil Stadium is definitely. I did go to MetLife. I didn't go in MetLife. I was standing outside of MetLife, so I don't know if that counts. I put an asterisk on it, but
yeah, I hear you.
I think MetLife is going to be the last one I actually go to because I don't know if I'm ready for those Super Bowl 48 nightmares to come back and haunt me.
That's so fair, bro.
I can't look at that stadium without crying, man. I'm just like, oh my god.
Oh, that was. I have a jersey actually of that from Peyton Manning that has that Super Bowl.
I think our friend Glenn Hauser was at that game. I'll have to ask him if we can bring him on the show one day, and he can just kind of tell us what happened back in 2013. But yeah, the Colts game is going to be really interesting for me because I know the Colts are they're looking forward to that game because they want payback for what happened last year.
It was an interesting game last season, bro.
Mm-hmm.
But again, as well as AR wasn't there, so hopefully AR will be healthy this time around.
Mm-hmm.
So again, it's week 2. You would think that he'd be healthy enough that he'll be playing against us.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember who didn't the Colts pick up another quarterback during free agency?
Danny Dimes.
Oh, Danny Dimes. Yeah, that's right. He didn't stick around in Minnesota. So,
and he could very well be the starting quarterback too, depending if they're looking to do quarterback competition.
I don't think the Colts are that high on Anthony Richardson. I think that's just
I don't either.
Personal opinion, because if you go out and get a guy like Danny Dimes and you're going to start a quarterback competition, that just kind of either they're trying to light a fire under his seat or they're just kind of like looking for a plan B. Kind of like when the Colts went out and got Joe Flacco. They saw what Flacco did with the Browns earlier and they were trying to kind of rekindle that, but unfortunately not every team is the same, not every season's the same,
right? So
they couldn't do that, so they're probably going to be going through the quarterback carousel as we speak. Don't be surprised if the Colts pick up another quarterback after preseason. You know how they make the cuts and there's just hundreds of players just out there waiting to be picked up, or they might even trade for one.
Oh yeah, I mean, geez. Another scenario that the Colts kind of remind me of is when we had Drew Lock and then we brought in Teddy Bridgewater. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of what that reminds you of in a way.
You know what we forgot to say? Just kind of backtrack just a little bit. We forgot to say what we think about the week 1 game. Do we believe that Tennessee loses and Denver wins?
Dumb.
That's a dub right there. We already said take that L on the way out.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure because I asked that. But the only thing that really scares me about the Colts is obviously Jonathan Taylor. It'll be interesting. I think our linebackers are gonna have their work cut out for them. It's gonna be a busy day for them. But if they can corral Jonathan Taylor and kind of prevent him from being that threat that he almost was last year, we make no mistake. We got really lucky that Jonathan Taylor fumbled that ball. Okay, because
absolutely we did. He just
changed the game, bro.
That game could have went differently, and the outcome as well. So I'm pretty sure he's going to hold it with 2 hands going forward. But so we can't always rely on luck.
So they hope.
But I think the Broncos win that game. I think they can go 2-0.
Oh, I think so too, bro.
Same.
I think so too. And Bo had one of his worst games in his rookie season. So I mean, I'm interested to see how he comes out firing off on all cylinders this to open up the season, but especially in week 2.
Yeah, but I mean, to me, the only way that game is close is depends on who's the quarterback for the Colts. Obviously they'll have the home field advantage. It'll be the Broncos' first game on the road, or not on the road, at home. No, it's away. Yeah, it's on away. So it'll kind of be interesting to see, because it's going to take time for the secondary to kind of mesh and get everything together, and be that formidable defense that we know they're going to be. I mean, they were formidable last year, but they're going to be even more formidable now. So hopefully they can get around and fix all the kinks and the issues and the problems that they had last year, where when they needed, there were games that they should have won that they didn't. And it's like we keep saying all the time, it shouldn't have come down to week 18, and it shouldn't have came down to the Broncos beating the second and third stringers of the Chiefs. A win is a win, on the other hand,
for sure.
But at the same time, that was a little too close for comfort for us Broncos fans.
And one thing, Adhan, you'll know damn well, excuse my language, that Peyton Manning's going to be in attendance for this one.
Oh, guaranteed.
Oh, God, I hope so. I really do, because if I can say I was in the same building, even if I don't get to meet Peyton Manning, but the fact that I can say I was in the same building and he was wearing the same colors I am.
Yeah, see, that's what I was about to say. Is he going to be wearing a Colts jersey, Broncos jersey? We already know it's a Broncos jersey.
Well, you know what he's going to do is he's going to wear like a blue blazer and a blue shirt, so it's going to be neutralized. So he's not going to say I'm here with the Colts or here with the Broncos, but it's going to be neutralized. He's going to play that political term itself, but you already know where his true alliance is here in Denver with the Broncos. Even though he spent 4 years, his true alliance is here.
Okay. Moving on to week 3. It's our first matchup against the Chargers. So I think this is going to be a very close game, guys. I know that the Broncos are definitely got this one circled on their calendar.
Oh, yeah.
We
let one.
Yeah, it shouldn't have happened. It shouldn't have gotten that way. And ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce to you the Johnny Baki. Ladies and gentlemen, round of applause. Woo!
What's
up, Johnny?
Boys, how y'all doing tonight? The real talent is here. I know everybody was panicking.
What's up, King?
But the true talent is finally here, so y'all can calm the hell down now.
Thank you. I'm just kidding.
But it's good to see you guys, and hope y'all are doing well. Appreciate you holding it down while I was trying to get back from the grocery store. My kids will tell you that. Well, no, I mean, like Mother Hubbard's cupboard been bare, man. Like, I feel like, my kids will try to tell you that they're starving, but they have no idea what starving is. So, but we had to get some food for this house because it was getting kind of, it was kind of slim pickings. So we did our best to get back in time, and I apologize that I'm late. But where are we at? Come on, help me out.
We're talking Chargers game right now.
Chargers, we're on week 3. If you want, we can go back to week 1 and you can give us your thoughts on the Titans and the Colts. Feel free, brother.
Sure, I'd love to do that. I would love to do that. Titans suck. Okay, so Titans, that's a dub, easy.
Dub.
Whether or not it'll be Cam Ward or or the King of Mayonnaise, starting, and if he's not starting, he's obviously Hellman light mayonnaise now. But no matter which one of them is starting, neither one of them is going to be able to compete with the talent level that is on the Denver Broncos defensive roster. I know that I'm probably speaking a little out of class because we haven't seen this team take a snap together yet. I get that, but at the same time, can we just freaking be honest for a second? Like, Is there any universe in which currently in the power rankings, the Titan, and not just one power ranking, all power rankings across the board, the Titans are in the bottom 3. So, like, is there anybody in the universe that thinks that the Titans offense can hang with this Denver defense, even if it was last year's Denver defense? Not a freaking chance. Not a freaking chance. Mm-mm. Now, and I want to say this, if you don't mind, I know that you're running the show tonight, tonight. You're the grand poobah. I'm so used to being in charge. I don't like taking a backseat. I'm kidding.
Can I go home now?
No, absolutely not. Or you're fired. Just kidding. I would never ever fire you. Probably.
Go Raiders.
Yeah, now you're fired. Now you're fired. That you went over the line there. You went over. Way damn over the line. You are. If you're not fired, but you're on probation, pal.
On probation, okay.
You are way on probation.
We're gonna have to meet him backstage, bro.
Yeah. Catch me outside. How about that?
Yeah.
All right. Hey, I want to say this real quick though.
Yeah.
And I want you guys to help me with this because we're gonna be. I want this tweeted every single day until we make this happen. All right.
Oh, I already know.
I sent this out last night. Okay.
Yes.
And I'm going to talk about it on the show tonight because I didn't have my show last night to talk about it. Here on the Orange and Blue Network, I think at least most of us feel that it's stupid to give a name to a position group and then throw a 2.0 on there. Somebody, the name of a previous group, like No Fly Zone 2.0. Granted, don't get me wrong. No Fly Zone.
Orange Crush 2.0.
Yeah, no, that's stupid. Okay, that's why I loved it when they started calling them the Anonymous Rush last year. Loved that, but like I can't stand it when they take a previously used name, throw a 2.0 on it because it's like, no, dude, these are their own dudes. All right, so give them something unique. And Isaiah, God bless him, he calls himself the king of names, and sometimes it's questionable, but this time he spit out pure gold. And then I started playing with it and coming up with phrases and things that we can say going along with it. So this season, I predict that the Broncos secondary is going to be the best in the NFL, receive a nickname, and we at the Orange and Blue Network are going to tweet this every day, every single day. And if you guys are watching at home, please, on Twitter, I want you guys doing the same thing, reposting, tweeting it, until we make Broncos Country, make it official that the Broncos secondary will be known as Cell Block D.
Let's go. I love that.
Prepare to get locked down.
Bam.
That looks fun, bro. I love it. I love the creativity, bro.
The best part of that is every week in our shows, every week after Pat Surtain and Riley Moss and Jahdae Barron shut these dudes down, we can say that we put them in solitary. We can call them inmates, baby. Welcome to Cell Block D, baby. So help me out with it.
Love that.
Cell Block D.
Are they putting the wide receivers on death row? I guess. My God.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. And I just want to say I worked my ass off on that graphic. So
good job, bro. Good stuff.
I thought it came out pretty sexy. So all right.
It
anyway,
was.
you guys already talked. Hey, children, bounce.
Yeah.
I love you guys. Bounce. This is daddy's time. Later. Dude, oh my God. Children, guys. They said they have them, they said. It'd be fun, they said. Anyway. All right. I'm sorry. I know I'm talking a lot. I'm just trying to catch up. Colts. Colts. Come on, man. Are we even really asking? Is there even a question? The Colts is a bottom 5 team in the power rankings. Like the beginning of at least the first few games, the first couple games of this schedule for us, soft. SAWFT soft.
Mm-hmm.
All right. The Colts, Anthony Richardson ain't shit. He's not.
No, but if Danny Dimes is in there, you better watch out.
Oh, I ain't scared of no Danny Dimes.
No.
Come on, DeVito, really? Come on. There's a reason he couldn't stay put in one place for longer than 2 seasons.
Oh God.
All right. No, I'm sorry. I don't think there is a quarterback on their roster right now that's going to be able to hang against this defense, and they don't have. And I don't think, especially with the weapons that we've added, in the run game. RJ Harvey, by the way, king of quads. Holy cow.
Dude,
Yeah,
that's
like
a Bronco running the football, bro.
I mean, dude,
that's
seriously,
a horse, bro.
You look at that dude wearing shorts. It's like looking at a California redwood tree, in shorts.
Jesus,
like good Lord. But I mean, with like
arms
RJ,
for legs, bro.
Right, with RJ Harvey and with our tight end with Evan Ingram, dude. I don't think they have the defense that can hang with this
Jokers,
offense, our offense either, man. So you know what? No, easy dub. 2 easy wins to start the season. And hey, I said it in the bio for this show today that strength of schedule can make or break a season for any NFL team just as easily as the players, the personnel, and injuries can, right? So like, but one thing I want to point out with these 2 games starting the season for us, these are both should be damn near easy wins, right? That's a good way to not only reinstill the confidence in the returning players, but help build the confidence of these young guys coming in and get them on a roll early, especially considering now you got all of our guys pretty much, except for a couple that really we don't miss that much, returning for a second year, all of them together, man. Like, this should build. This should get us on a good momentum to begin the season. That's my thoughts. And now we can move. I'm sorry, back to the Chargers.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So no, we were saying that I was saying, let me rephrase that I think it's going to be a close game. I did say that I believe that this is one of the few games that the Broncos have circled on their calendar because it should not have gone down the way it did last year. I know that Johnny had mentioned that we didn't have Pat Surtain in that first game, but we did have him in that second one, and then the Broncos just completely collapsed in that second half of that game. So it's basically back to the drawing board in that regard. I'll admit I ate crow because I said that Harbaugh wasn't going to come in and wasn't going to be a difference maker for the Chargers, and obviously I was wrong. Now I was wrong in that aspect, but then the Chargers themselves went into the wild card and they crapped the bed pretty bad, mind you. At least the Broncos lost to the Bills, who's an offensive powerhouse. The Chargers lost to the Texans, and the Texans are the team who couldn't get out of their own way, and they were
interceptions by Justin Herbert, man. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So if the Broncos can recreate that formula, that whatever the Texans did that made Justin Herbert uncomfortable and made him throw like a rookie, then I think we'll be back in business. So I'm going to say that the Broncos win at home in their first matchup against the Chargers.
Yeah.
I can get on board with that. I can get on board with that well.
Same.
What about? Yeah.
No, I agree with you with that. Like, I feel that the Broncos coming into this season now, we've lost the last 2 from last year. Coming into this one this year, and especially it being early in the season enough where we can still catch them off guard, where you're still trying to figure out who the team is at that point. And if we can just catch them on that there in SoFi, like, I think we're going to be able to go in there, run over them, and then come out with victorious. And we're going to be 3-0 to start the season.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I'll touch on when it comes to the Chargers is they upgraded that running back room tremendously with Amarian Hampton and Najee Harris as their 1-2 punch, and they destroyed us in the trenches last year, so that gives me a little pause. But if we do win this game, which I think we will, it's going to have to be, stopping the run and limiting Justin Herbert.
Well, I mean, I can get on board with that. I can understand it. But at the same time, no. I mean, okay, yeah, they beat the crap out of us in the trenches. I'll give you that. I'll give you that. But I don't think that it's gonna be. I don't even know how to say this. I'm sorry, guys. I think Sean Payton, with the experience coming back, I think with our guys coming back. Like I said it earlier. These guys are now going to be in a second year. All these guys running it back together.
Mm-hmm.
And let's be honest. Right now, Okay, they're not. Pat Surtain is not going to be out like that, like he was in that first game, and that was a big reason to me.
That altered the game for sure, man.
It changed the game in a big way.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, man. I feel like that we can. It's very, very possible for us to get this done. You know what I mean? Like I really do.
And the weapons that we added now too. I mean, it definitely helps, against that defense that when we struggled, So
yeah,
that'll be something that'll help benefit us for sure. Like Evan Ingram's gonna keep people up at night now, on the offense for Denver. So.
I don't see any reason why he wouldn't.
Yeah, so that helps us for sure. RG Harvey, it's fun.
Yeah.
Moving on,
absolutely.
gentlemen. The Bengals come to Denver. It is going to be the rematch of rematches.
And it's prime time.
And it's
imagine that it's prime time.
Monday night. Football.
They don't want the smoke from our defense, man. Let me tell you, they don't want the smoke, man.
I don't know. Like I am so on the fence on this one. The only reason I say that is because the Bengals currently, as of this recording, gentlemen, they've gone all in on their offense. They spent all their money on Jamar Chase and T. Higgins and Joe Burrow sooner or later. But their defense is like, you can almost say like varsity-ish. Okay. And they don't have any money to bring back Hendrickson, I don't think. I think that they're probably going to end up trading him if they don't. I don't think they'll cut him because of that cap. So the only way that I can see the Broncos getting ahead is if they go back and they correct all their mistakes that they made in that Bengals game. And by mistakes, I mean in that overtime. That overtime game, the Broncos had no business going 3-and-out. And yes, it was a bobbled pass, incomplete pass that should have been caught for the first down by, was it Sutton? So it's those types of mistakes that can really, really end up costing you. And Riley Moss, unfortunately, I thought he was going to be that lockdown corner, him coming back, but the injury just kind of showed itself out there the rust, I'm sorry, not the injury. The rust showed itself out there, and T. Higgins had a field day against him. And the thing that kind of got me was a lot of people were like, well, how come Pat Surtain doesn't follow him? I was like, okay, he follows T. Higgins, shuts him down. What about Jamar Chase, who's just as dangerous? So that's why the need for cornerback, I believe, came at the 20th pick. Libre and I talked about this last week. So that pick could come in and be the difference maker in this, because the best way to beat a quarterback like Joe Burrow is if our pass rush can't get to him, then our secondary has to kind of pick up the slack and get those interceptions and just wear that offense out. So I'm going to say W for Denver. I think they're going to go 4-0 just for the simple fact that, not just because I'm a Broncos fan, but just for the simple fact that I think that the Bengals defense sooner or later is going to come back to haunt them. And that offense, as good as it may be, they're just going to get tired out. And, if they get injured, even worse.
So for me, the Broncos, I feel we just improved our offense as well with Evan Ingram, who was something that we were missing. So everything that you were just talking about as well, the Broncos also have improved for the better as well. So going into this game and knowing Sean Payton the way that he is, he's not going to go back there and have these same mistakes that we had this last season. We're going to go and learn from that mistake, and we're going to go in and we're going to go and capitalize on these plays, especially having Evan Ingram. Now that we have RJ Harvey in the back itself, if we can have a running game, if we can get that established, trust me, Bo Nix is going to be brutal in the play action itself. And that is, I think, what's going to be the game changer this year in general, overall for the Broncos, is that factor right there, where you no longer have Bo Nix as one-dimensional. Now you have several options that we have for him, because now we have a running back. We actually have a tight end that's going to be able to go out there and give him that outlet that he needs. RJ Harvey's going to give him that outlet as well as that receiving back coming out, which we didn't have last year. So having what we've done so far as well in the offseason is going to be the difference maker here. And the Bengals, I feel like that game, it's going to be on national television, and Sean Payton is going to expose them.
Awesome.
I like it.
Can I pull some host duties for just a second there, Don?
Sure.
And grab a couple of comments, and then I'll give my take on the Bengals game.
Sure.
Okay. We got Juan Marquez. I believe that's your cousin there.
Yes,
Libre.
sir. Primo.
Yeah. He's coming in saying, can you tell me, all right, help me out, because I'm the token white guy on this show. How do I say this right?
What's happening?
All right. Which, by the way,
Perfect.
Which by the way, even as the token white guy, I've seen Born in East LA, so I totally get it. It's awesome.
It's awesome.
Don,
Yeah,
love
Libre
it.
sent me the
Don, have
clip.
you
I gotta
seen
watch the movie.
I've seen it. I love it. I mean, I loved anything that Cheech Marin ever did. And then we got my buddy Michael Yost coming back in. He said, about time my bearded butt got here, and told me not to lie. I was oiling up my face fur to look pretty, which, I mean, look at that. I know we all want that.
He's a well-oiled machine.
No, Yost is just jealous because his ass is still in the Army, so he doesn't get to grow one of these glorious face manes. So, Kodiak Broncos saying cell block should be a nickname for the Raiders. Well, I mean, it's more like I think it's more their apartment building.
Yes.
But cell block. But see, I'm going to pull up the picture again real quick, right? It's cell block D. Cell block D, because you got the D, right? Is on lockdown. That's what we do. That's what the secondary is going to be doing, is locking it down. Everybody. It makes sense. It makes sense. And then Juan, also coming in saying, he's predicting 4-0 up to that point. Up to
yes.
So, all right, Dak, do you want to go? Do you want to go next on the Bengals, or am I good too?
You go ahead, sir.
Thanks, Pumpkin. All right, here we go. So here's my thoughts on the Bengals. One, their defense is abysmal. Even with the pieces that they added in the draft and everything, it's unproven. Their defense is young and untested. They couldn't take us. They couldn't take us last season. I mean, their offense. Mad respect. I got nothing but respect for that offense. Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow. Those dudes, they are awesome dudes. They're awesome players. They're one hell. They've got a hell of a connection, and they've got a great offense. So it's going to be one of those things where, can their defense step in, at the way that they are, and take on the Broncos offense, which was was way better than their defense was last season. Likely will be again this season, and our defense is likely to shut. Even though they may have one of the best offenses in the NFL, we are going to have one of the best, if not the best, defense in the NFL. And so, it might be a bit of we might be the one team that can hold that high scoring offense to, under their average for the season, And so I'm, you call me optimistic because everybody does. I'm always Mr. Optimistic. I think it's another dub. I think I agree with Juan. I think we are 4-0 at this point.
Word.
4-0, yeah, 4-0 for sure. Yeah, I by all means, 4-0, please. I believe it. I think, the Bengals defense, they have to stop our offense, man. It's not going to be. I'll say this: the Bengals, we hold them to 17 points for that night. You know what I mean? When we played the Bengals last year, Riley Moss was coming back from an injury. He got shredded, kind of getting into that game. What do you call it? Shape, getting
football
back.
shape, getting them back into football shape.
Yeah. So, but now we added Jahdae Barron to that secondary. You know what I mean? Which is going to pay dividends for defending a Jamar Chase, what's the other
T. Higgins.
T. T. Higgins shredded us, man. Let's be honest. Because
Yeah.
Riley Moss was getting back, but this is a W, man. Bo Nix has help, like you guys alluded to. It's just gonna be a different ball game for sure.
Week 5, the Eagles, the
Oof,
world
this
champion Eagles. The Broncos go to Lincoln Field to take on their former head coach in Vic Fangio. You know what? I'll be honest with you. I was really hoping that the Broncos would avoid the Eagles at least this season, but I'm orange and blue as much as the next guy. But at the same time, gentlemen and people watching at home, we have to be realistic.
Yeah.
The Eagles, even with the key pieces that they lost, are still very freaking dangerous. And
Very.
if the Broncos win this, I think it'll be like our mini Super Bowl victory because I feel like our team has one every season. But I don't think that we're at that level yet where we can go at them. Now, it could be a picture of a possible Super Bowl matchup. It could be. But at this point, I don't think that the Broncos win this game. So I think this is where the Broncos take their first loss of the season and go 4-1.
Yeah. I think this is a good. Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead, Dak.
For me personally, yeah, this is
go.
the loss. Okay. Personally, for me, man, this is gonna be a loss. I think, sadly, we would like to win all our games. Let's be real. But if I'm being honest, this is a good measuring stick in terms of how Denver lines up as a true contender. You know what I mean? So, geez, that defense is relentless. That Philadelphia has, and we're trying to be the best in the NFL. It's going to be interesting to see which defense shows up that game. You know what I mean? Especially with the pieces we added. But ultimately, I think the experience and having won it, I think would push the Eagles over the top in this one.
Well, I mean, I'd like to, mention you got to talk about it. What is the Eagles' greatest strength? It's their offensive trenches. I mean, they've got the offensive line, all huge dudes. First of all, and then of course they've got Saquon Barkley. And what was the weakest part of our game last season?
Run defense.
Defensively, run defense.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So, obviously we've got some new pieces. We've re-signed some dudes, and Dre Greenlaw will and Talanoa Hufanga are going to help greatly, in run against the run. But I mean, the Eagles are their offensive line and their run game, their ground game is not to be trifled with, and that's the difference maker.
Yeah,
that is the difference maker for them. And while we may have defensively, we are superior, in my opinion, to anybody in the NFL. I just think that they are right now they are built for that kind of success. And so this could go down as quite a close game. I think our offense is going to be firing, on all cylinders, especially by week 5. That's usually the point when those that had to shake some rust off, or those that are trying to learn how to come into their own in the NFL, that's usually around the time that happens. But it may be a close game, but I do predict, that's, if I have to give, my honest assessment, without my orange goggles on, it's a loss.
No, you know what? For me, I think with just our additions, both on the offense and defense, this is going to be a lot closer game than a lot of people think. Just because of what we were able to add to both sides of the ball. And I feel for this game itself, for me, it's going to come down to who has the ball last. And it could be where it's going to be the Eagles that do have the ball last, and they're just going to be pounding it and pounding it, it's what they did all year long, where they just wore teams out at the end of the season, at the end of each game. So to me as well, I feel like it's going to be closer, but I do feel that they might edge it out and win by like 4 or 5 points, but that's about it. They're not going to win by double digits.
Yeah, like I said, I think it's going to be close, but I do count it as an L right now.
Yeah.
You got to put the respect on the champs, man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Those champs.
So.
Any AFC West champ, different story.
Facts. Facts. If it was the Chiefs, miss me with that if it was the Chiefs.
Exactly. It is so nice for the last 2 years to not have to mention the Chiefs as world champs. I mean, it is like
how cool would it be? How cool would it be for Bo Nix to go out there head to head with the Super Bowl, the Super Bowl defending quarterback Jalen Hurts in his sophomore season, and just beat the crap out of the Eagles defense. And I mean,
he has the capability, man.
Go. I thought you said go, Bo, go.
He has the capability to do so, man. You know what I mean? So
I think so. I definitely do. So all right.
Week, what are we at? 6?
We're week 6.
The Justin Field-led Jets.
That's an early game.
At MetLife.
Nope. London, brother. London.
Oh, London Bridges.
Bro,
I mean,
London Bridges.
Across the pond.
It's a home game for the Jets, technically, even though it is in London. But you're right. It is in London, England.
Gonna go down like London.
But the Broncos are going to be flying in from that Philly game, hopefully pissed off. I want to say that this is an easy win for Denver because they beat the Jets already. But at the same time, Justin Fields got the best of us last year as a Steeler in week 2. So I'm kind of on the fence on this one. So I will punt it back to you guys because I don't know who I want to say is definitely going to win it. I'm trying to think of a perfect reason why I want to pick either one. So I'm still on the fence about it. I'm trying not to take Justin Fields for granted because he doesn't have George Pickens anymore, but he has
Wilson. He has Wilson.
Yeah, Garrett Wilson. And Breece Hall has always been a thorn in the Broncos side. Even though Aaron Rodgers is no longer a Jet, there's still dysfunction on that. And can't turn away from Sauce Gardner because Sauce Gardner is still a good cornerback. So, and playing overseas, that takes a toll on both teams, regardless of who's away at home. And the last time the Broncos played in Europe, they won when they beat Jacksonville. So, either one of you guys can go next, and then you can come back to me.
You know what? I'm not afraid of the Jets, even with Justin Fields, like how you're saying. But now he's on a new team, a whole new offensive scheme. He has to learn all these new offensive call plays and whatnot. He's still going to try to be getting that continuity there, which who knows? Is it also who else is the other quarterback that's there? Like, I don't even know who's there, but I don't feel like the Jets are going to have enough firepower to even score against this defense because they're getting locked down. So, and I feel that this is an easy win. They're going into London.
He said it.
Yeah.
He said they're getting locked down.
There it is. Locked down.
Cell block D, baby.
There you go. And I really feel like that's what's going to end up happening with these guys. They're still too new of a team, that so many new parts that have come in together that they're not going to have that continuity that's going to happen. Unless it's going to be raining like how it was last year when we played them, where it was just raining and the score was just 9
Oh my God, that was so disgusting.
So that's the only way that game will ever be close again, is if that's going to happen. If there's weather that's out there in London that's going to prevent any team being able to score, and it's just going to be like whoever can not mess up the most.
Okay, so I mean, yeah, talking about that Jets game last year, real quick, and then I'll move on. You know, two of our hosts on this network, Ty and my co-host on Nothing Rhymes, Jay, were at that game last year, watching the Jets in that rain, and they said that was the most disgusting feeling like day they'd ever experienced. It was like, you know, you always hear like the comparison to like, trying to breathe soup and stuff. I mean, they said it was the worst thing, the worst experience, worst environment they'd ever been in was that rain in New York last year. That being said, Jets, so right? Look, you said it. You said it, Libre. The Jets are young. They're new. They've got so many pieces that that have never played together, and even those that have played together didn't do it well before this. At this point, there is nothing on this earth that, to me, really, how do I say this right? Indicates that they're going to take that step forward. There's no proof. I'm sorry, if you're looking at it objectively, as of right now, the Jets are a terrible team.
Mm-hmm.
They've added pieces, and that's great for them. That's good for them. But I mean, they haven't done anything yet. They didn't do anything last year. So what possible thing could they have done right now on paper that makes them better than us? Not a damn thing.
Exactly. I was just gonna say that.
And so, as much, and while I do put respect on dudes like Sauce Gardner, okay, you got to remember that Sauce Gardner, he's a lockdown corner just like Pat Surtain, but he's pretty much the only defensive weapon they've got there in their secondary. And Sean Payton, he weaponizes all of every guy that isn't on the offensive line in the pass game. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So Sauce Gardner can only guard one dude at a time. I mean, so, you're going to have, I've already said it. I believe that Troy Franklin, or I believe Devon Vele has, a breakout year for sure. Troy Franklin, we'll see, but then you got Marvin Mims. You got, you've got Pat Bryant, who we've already seen is who we know that they just drafted because not only does he have great hands, great routes that create separation, but he's also a blocking phenom as a wide receiver. And then of course you can't count out Cortland Sutton, who's the master of the 50-50 ball, even against dudes like Sauce. So, I've got respect. All right. And Justin Fields, it's the same damn thing for me. The dude couldn't get it done in Chicago. He went to Pittsburgh and got it done a little, but not enough for them to want to keep him.
No,
so
he lost his job to an old timer.
Yeah, and an old timer who's washed up.
Yep.
So Lord Wilson.
So I mean, I just don't think that there's any objective proof that they are going to be, that they have any chance of being better than us right now. So that's an easy W for me.
Zach,
let's just be real here. The Jets' ass is going to be grounded by that secondary, if I'm being honest. This is an easy W. You guys touched on all the points that I was going to say, but this is a W. Laughably so.
Inmates of cell block D, baby. Inmates of cell block D.
Yes, indeed.
You know what? I'm going to go and say W too, just for the simple fact that the Broncos definitely owe Justin Fields that revenge game. Okay, because last year Steelers game, Bo Nix was still a little wet behind the ears. It looked like he was starting to finally, gain momentum and get that rhythm. But unfortunately, by the time he was starting to get that, it was just towards the end of the game. There was no more time left, and it was close. So, but then again,
that next week. It was the next week after that game against the Buccaneers that Bo Nix found his rhythm.
Mm-hmm. It was week 3, right after that.
I mean,
you're totally right.
And again, oh God, talking about this, I am so effing, and I'm saying that with emphasis. Let's put it that way. I am so effing sick of hearing about Bo Nix's upcoming sophomore slump.
Oh, get the hell out of here! With that.
Are you kidding me? Like, what are you smoking?
dude.
And where can
I
I
was
get
about to
some?
say, please.
Yeah, what are you smoking and where can I get some? Because I want some of that. Like, it makes you, you are so delusional. What universe, again, what objective evidence do you have that this dude is going to take a step back from where he was last season? Because I don't see any. Same system, first time in his career, continuity of his coaching staff and his system.
Yep.
He was number 2 in passing touchdowns last season as a rookie.
Mm-hmm.
He's very, very efficient. He's a workhorse. He's the first one to arrive at the facility every day, the last one to leave. He's in the film room hours and hours every day studying. I don't see any reason on earth that this dude's going to take a step back. And so, yeah, we're about to chew up that Jets defense.
Yeah. And if I'm being honest, the Jets defense last year was probably better than they are going into this season.
Well, they were better under Saleh. And then
they were better under Robert Saleh.
Yeah. As soon as Robert Saleh
who is their coach right now?
Aaron Glenn.
Who is their coach now?
Aaron Glenn, former defensive coordinator from the Lions.
With Detroit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trust me, my brother, who's a big Lions fan, he more than hardly agrees.
Ooh.
Yeah, exactly. Gentlemen, moving on to the next week 7, the Giants. So Russell Wilson. I'm guessing it's going to be Russell Wilson this time.
Oh, boy.
Didn't they get bumped down to like G League football? Are they a UFL team now?
It's either Russell Wilson or Jameis Winston that's going to be
They're
starting.
the G-men.
I guess depending on whatever that injury that was messing with Russell Wilson last year when he was a Steeler, are coming to Denver. So the only part of that Giants team that kind of I would say is concerning is Neighbors, because Malik Neighbors is a really good wide receiver.
Oh yeah, he's
just on a team without a quarterback that could match his talent at this point. For me, Antonio Acosta saying Dart will be starting by week 7.
Oh, they do have Dart.
Yeah, they did pick up Dart. That is right. Antonio's right.
Hey,
so it could be
Kids
Dart
in the house right there. Dart. He's calling it now.
It could be the Dart show. But I mean, if you start Dart by that point, then you're really trying to make a run for another number 1 pick in the draft. Because that's literally what like week 1 in terms of throwing the rookie into the dogs. But the Giants are still like, there's so much dysfunction on that team. Like it's not even funny. And first, this is honestly the last chance for Russell Wilson to be a starter, because after this season, he's off of Denver's books. So I don't see any other team giving him anywhere near the money that he had with Seattle, I want to say, and what he had in Denver. Okay. No. He's literally going to be quarterback to kind of like the Joe Flacco type of life he's going to be leading. So if he does play for any other teams, it's going to be for, veteran minimums and, probably playing second fiddle. I don't see him as a starter. So this is literally his last chance to try to make a name for himself. If he is the starter, but neither him or Winston or Dart.
There's also Drew Lock. Drew Lock is there.
So I'm going to say Broncos 6-1 at this point.
I like that.
This game alone, just for the simple fact that it's the week right after coming back from London, this could be to potentially like a trap game as well. Where we're just tired just because of the traveling or whatnot, where we just come out flat and the Giants just happen to just come over us as well. But I feel like with this team, though, and the way that Sean Payton puts it together, he will not allow that to happen. But again, for some reason, just in my feels, This is like a trap game for that Bronco team right now. It's just because of that travel.
Yeah, they can stay up.
Is that who I think it is in the back, Johnny?
It is the one, the only Dreamweavers in the house. Let's get him in here. Let's. We're gonna have to hang on. Give me a second here. I'm gonna have to.
Do I need to close the?
I'm gonna have to finagle a little something here. Hold up. I got this.
Do you need me to close the share screen, Johnny?
No, no, not at all, brother. Not at all.
All right.
He's just saying, hold up, wait a minute, let him work.
Hold up, wait a minute.
Release
the Kraken. Trying to work, vato loco.
That's funny.
I know, huh?
You remember?
I can't do nothing.
I can't do nothing around here.
All right, hold up. I got this, y'all. I got this.
Technology is fun, isn't it?
Oh, it's crazy. It is straight up crazy. We're gonna put Jay right up in the middle, make his pretty, get his get his pretty face right up at the top. All right.
He's up in the spotlight.
Here's
Whoa! There we go.
Wow.
He started at the bottom. Now he's her.
Here's the story of a man
named
Weaver.
Welcome.
So,
Only me and Johnny will get that reference. I don't think.
Sorry to wreck the whole crew here, but
dreams do come true.
I figured I'd pop on here for a hot second because I saw you guys going live, and it was I was feeling a little out. I need to get back on the horse here, so I'm in mid move, but it's a holiday, so continue on, gentlemen.
Your man cave looks a little bit bare there, cuzzo.
Yeah, it's not because of last night's game as to why the Jokic Murray is down behind.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about that tonight. We don't need to talk about that tonight.
I'll preference with I still got my goods here. So
yeah that's dope.
Shout out
I want to say how cool is this? All right, we got both hosts of Broncos Talk and Viva Los Broncos. We got both hosts of Nothing Rhymes and half the hosts of Broncos Bros.
Yeah.
Oh, this is fun. Jay, we've just kind of been going through and talking game by game. And we just got done with New York. Well, we didn't really get done. Not all of us gave our opinions, but I'm pretty sure we all made the jokes enough that we all agree. The New York Giants game is a dub. And up to this point, we all predict all of us, I think, a general consensus. Broncos 6-1, boys.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Ooh. Okay, just so I'm up to speed, is it a Bengal loss? Is it a Bengal loss or a Philadelphia loss?
Oh, Philadelphia loss.
Okay.
Philly,
all right,
bro.
Respect the world champs, man.
All right. Okay.
We're not going to let the Bengals come into our house on Monday night, national television, and beat us. That's not a chance that's going to happen this year.
Again.
Not with Sean Payton.
It was literally the only reason why Barron was the pick was because of T. Higgins and what T. Higgins did to us without having a second corner.
Yes.
Right on, guys. I concur up to this point. So continue on. That's exactly what I have.
Well, it's up to you, Johnny. You want to move on to the Cowboys game, or you have anything else to add for the Giants?
No, I'm good. I made my jokes.
All right,
because that's
Cowboys,
what that team is. A
ladies
joke.
and gentlemen.
Just in time for another joke.
And the return of one Javonte Williams to Denver in a different uniform. Aside from CeeDee Lamb, this is literally the exact same thing as my previous statement. I don't know what the Cowboys are doing, but it's not working. Who's the head coach for the Cowboys?
They got George Pickens now.
It's not McCarthy, right? They do have George Pickens. But I feel like George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb are going to be at each other's throats by then.
They got George Pickens. They still have the less superior Dak.
That's true.
Because we have
Thank you, bro.
we have the superior Dak on this show, baby.
Yeah. Thank you, bro. I appreciate the love, bro.
Like,
Uh,
I mean, okay. Does anybody else want to go first on this one?
Go for it.
Go, Libre.
All right. Oh yeah, Libre, go. If you want to
There's
go
really
first, go.
there's really nothing to really say about this. Like the Cowboys are so dysfunctional right now. It's just so laughable. This is going to be an easy victory. Javonte Williams, like how you're saying he's coming back. He's not no Jerry Jeudy. But again, Jerry Jeudy just happened to get lucky that game against us. Javonte's not going to be able to do that at all. So this is an easy victory.
Sure. Okay. I'm gonna say my piece and then I'll quit real quick. Dude, what is the Merriam-Webster's dictionary definition of insanity?
that you continue to do it and do it.
Yeah. Repeating the same action over and over and over, expecting different results.
Jerry Jones.
Okay. Now, who is the king of insanity based on that? That would be Mr. Jerry frickin' Jones. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Dak Prescott is not the guy. All right. He hasn't been the guy. He's been in this league so long, I don't even remember when he was drafted at this point, and he's still the starting quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. Never taken them to even – they've never even been able to glimpse the promised land with Dak Prescott under center, okay? You keep on doing the same shit over and over, and nothing changes. You can bring in dudes like CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens. How many times have the Cowboys made the playoffs with CeeDee Lamb in the wide receiver room? Zero. Okay?
True.
Like, go ahead and bring in George Pickens. Go ahead and bring in Javonte Williams. Have fun with that one. Like, you know, go ahead and let Nico walk. You know, and bring in Javonte Williams to replace him. That was a joke. It's the same thing over and over. The Cowboys, they were nicknamed America's team in 1970 because of their popularity, okay? But they have not been America's team for the last 30 years, all right? And they, you know, they're a joke. It's another win.
You know, just how you're stating like that, the last time they were quote unquote America's team, when was the last time they actually beat the Broncos? Back in the 90s.
I can't remember it.
Yeah, 90s.
Back in the 90s,
Back in the early 90s is the last time that
They couldn't even beat us when we had Teddy Bridgewater, bro.
No.
I was at that game. Boy, Teddy Bridgewater lit them boys up.
Jonathan Cooper had like what, 2 or 3 sacks or something crazy, dude. No.
I remember that dubbing, like we hadn't seen a Cowboys victory since the Clinton administration. I remember like stating that before that game. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
Like, and I have a roommate, like my buddy who has lived with me for the last 4 years. He is from Dallas. He is a Cowboys fan. And I can't even with him. You know what I mean? Like
I have many families.
Yeah.
I have so much family that are Cowboys fans too, bro. I feel for them.
The Broncos buck them every time, and then we trample them. I mean, it's them Cowboys shouldn't even show up to that rodeo, baby.
Can I say something real quick? The Broncos have won a Super Bowl, okay, in 2015. They've gone through disaster, and they've come back from disaster all in the same amount of time that the Cowboys remain in disaster.
The Broncos have won all 3 of their Super Bowls since the last time the Cowboys even went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
That's history.
True story. Facts right there.
I was gonna say, I don't want to speak too ill on the Cowboys because I don't want to offend too many Laker fans either. But they're a joke.
That's usually how that goes, bro.
They're the joke of the NFL. They still are to this day. Even if they're good, it's still a joke. Like it's
We
still
have 6 Super Bowls.
Yeah. It's still fool's gold, even if they are like a 10-11 win team, which I don't think they will be. But
No.
They have 6 Super Bowls, right? Or 5?
So we're gonna say W on that.
I think
They
That
have
was
5.
5, I think.
5.
Only
Yeah.
the Steelers
And
and,
I-
the Patriots have 6.
All of those won before. Most of those won in the 1960s and 70s. One
can't
won in
even
the
remember.
80s and one won in the 90s, I think.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's crazy, bro. That's wild.
Moving on to the Texans, gentlemen.
Oh my
Okay.
God! Real quick, can we pull up this comment,
Sure.
Adon?
Go ahead.
Antonio Acosta coming back in saying Jalen Hurts was born, grew up, won a national championship, then a Super Bowl, all since the Cowboys' last championship appearance.
Bronco Tiz, straight up facts right there.
Woo! It's beautiful.
Those are facts. Definitely facts.
Hey, and I want to point out, Juan, your cousin Juan Marquez, is doing the right thing. He's helped pushing Cell Block D, baby.
Yeah.
Cell Block
Lock
D.
it down.
Prepare to
That
get
is
locked down.
I like how you have that so readily available to flash. Like
Oh,
your
dude,
finger's
I-
already on the button, just waiting.
Jay, I'm telling you, man. I said it earlier when I first got into the show. We will be tweeting this every single day until Broncos Country makes it a thing.
The agenda will be thick.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Anyway, I just wanted to give him that love because he's helping make it a thing. So, Adon,
Texans. I really don't know what the hell they're doing over there. Them trading away Larry Tunzel,
Dude, what the
offensive
hell?
line pieces, and just to kind of see the season that really terrible. See, I'm going to say it's terrible, and not just because I drafted CJ Stroud last year on my fantasy team, and he decided
I did too, bro.
Brutal.
And
Yes.
yeah, like they did the right thing by paying Derek Stingley Jr., which was great and everything, but you're gonna need so much help on that because it looks like Tank Dell is more than likely going to be forced to retire just for the simple fact that those injuries he suffered are crucial, and they seem to be one of those that even if you wanted to come back, you probably couldn't because you'd probably make it worse. So. And those are the kind of the worst, kind of like what happened to Javonte and maybe even Nick Chubb, where it just changes you. And even though you want to push yourself to be the person you used to be, you physically can't because you don't want to re-injure yourself.
And Tank was like small, and he banked on his athleticism and speed. You know what I mean?
Now that's not to take away anything from Nico Collins. Nico Collins is still a very, very dangerous man.
Right.
But I think that unless the Texans go out and get some help in terms of, giving CJ Stroud more weapons and for CJ Stroud to kind of find his footing and get that second breath, because he keeps playing like he did last year. He's going to be in for a really, really, really rough time in his career. But if we're going to base it on what the Texans look like last year, then I think that the Broncos win this game. So it's looking good for our boys, just for the simple fact that, the Texans may have bit a little bit more than they could chew in extending and paying Derek Stingley that much. And literally, if Stingley goes down, that's pretty much the whole Texans season in a bunch in terms of their defense. So I think the Broncos win that game.
Okay.
Bueller.
I was going to say, let me add a couple points, I guess, to that. The only thing about Houston that I've heard is they are in love with the duo wide receivers from Iowa State that they drafted, and they are more than confident going in, with obviously Tank Dell basically not being on the roster any longer. I don't know. I think their offense is, took the sophomore slump, the step back last year. And I know they had injuries as well last year, but I kind of feel like they're going to have another kind of come up in an overall arc of their season. I think they're going to be a pretty dang good team. So I think on the road is going to be a really tough game. I feel like for us, especially when you're looking at that being kind of the middle sandwich of a bunch of home games, and that's the one road trip you got to be on for this whole stretch. That's kind of I'm not going to go as far as to say a trap game, but a game that they just all right, we're quickly going to Houston for a couple days and then coming back home for a whole stretch. So I don't know. it could be a more interesting game than normal.
See, and Jay, you just stole, even though you used it in the other side or in the other way, you stole the word I was going to use, which was trap game.
Yeah.
Is that when I look at this schedule, this is the one I see. The one game that I personally am looking at that schedule and going, that could be the one where it becomes our trap game of the season, where I believe the Broncos roster is better than theirs now. I believe that Bo Nix is a better quarterback than CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud is a very efficient quarterback, but I believe Bo is a better talent. But I believe that I think that could be the one. I'm gonna give it because I believe we have the better roster. I'll still give it a dub.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the one you got to be. I think that's the one on this year's schedule, that we have to be the most careful of.
I've got that as
could be
an
a
L.
trap game. Yeah,
An L for me on the record. I'm very sheepish.
No, I agree with you guys as well, but I feel like we're going to be coming into this game super confident and not taking them as serious as what we should be. And they're going to go out, and I feel like they can definitely beat us, especially it's going to be at home for them. Like how you were saying, Jay, like that alone right there just gives them, I think, that little bit of an edge, especially like that's just one game in a, 5 weeks time frame on the road. We're like, okay, we have all these games that are home, this one right in the middle that's on the road. We're just going to take it lightly, and then that's it.
Yeah,
Dak?
I think this is a loss, in my opinion. I watched CJ Stroud, the way he operated. I know it's last season, but I watched the way he operated against the Chargers, shredding that defense. And the Texans should have beat the Chiefs, if I'm being honest, if the refs were involved in the game.
Mm-hmm.
So this, like, I like that you say trap game. I mean, this could very well be in that we're on the road,
Yeah. Now, I would love
this could be one of those games. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go finish your thought, and then I'll.
Yeah, this could be very well one of those games where we just, go on the road and stumble on the loss,
So I feel like, okay, let me preface one thing I will say about this. We know now, based on Bo Nix's rookie season, we made it to the wild card round. That's what we consider our baseline, right? We believe we're going back, I'm pretty sure most of Broncos country is pretty damn confident that we're going back to the postseason. And I do believe that, even though I think this is a trap game, and I'm actually going to change my answer because I was trying to be Mr. Optimistic, but being honest, I think this is our trap game, and I think that we'll take an L on this one. If we do take the L there, when we go to the postseason and we face off against the Texans in the postseason, we own them in the postseason.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm going to say that right now. We might lose this game in the in week 9, but I fully believe that if we meet up, we meet up and say hi in the postseason, we're going to kick the crap out of them.
Oh yeah.
So I feel like that's 4 of us that gave it an L.
I gave it a W. I'm probably the only one.
So consensus L.
I mean, the consensus is L.
I'm glad I'm here to break the tie, guys.
We appreciate that. We appreciate that. No. So what does that make us now? If we've lost, we're in week 9, we've lost 2. So we're what? 7-2.
7-2, and I'll take that all day from the first
all
game.
day, bro.
Yeah.
We got a couple comments, Don. Can I grab those?
Please.
All right. We got Ryan Hijazi saying, "Glad to see you, Mile High Viking." It's good to see you too. He also says he feels that we're going to go 12-5. Juan agrees that this is the trap game.
Mm-hmm.
And then Michael Ronquillo popping in for the first time tonight. It's good to see Michael Ronquillo saying, "Good evening, gentlemen, and go Broncos."
Let's go.
Let's go.
Appreciate it. We appreciate it. All right.
Love it.
Back to you, Adon.
Week 10. The Raiders come to Denver. The Pete Carroll led
This is a
Raiders.
Thursday night game as well.
Get the broom.
The Geno Smith led Raiders and the Ashton Genty.
Oof.
Now this is Thursday night football, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna say that this is, the jury is so, like, I've heard so many things about Ashton. That he's gonna be. Some people say he's gonna be a monster. Other people say he's gonna be a flash in the pan. Some people say he's not gonna do anything in Las Vegas because, yes, as Antonio said, Gianti equals bust. So, but to me, it doesn't really matter which direction Ashton goes to. I have no faith in Pete Carroll. So I'm going to double down and say that the Raiders are still going to be terrible going forward because they really didn't improve in quarterback. Going out and getting Geno Smith, to me, they were better off just staying with Aiden O'Connell and trying to play for that number 1 draft in 2026. But to me, Geno Smith doesn't move the needle for me. I know the Broncos definitely want to talk to Geno Smith because he got away with 2 lucky wins during his time in Seattle. I will definitely say that. So they're, our defensive guys are definitely going to want to talk to him. But I think that this is
block D, baby.
Yeah. And of course, I never pick when it comes to our AFC West matchups, I never pick against my Broncos. So Broncos win this game hands down.
All right.
Ooh, hands down even.
Dak, why don't you go? You haven't gone after a Don in a little while.
Gino, I would like to have a word with you, bro. We're laying the smack down on you, boy. I don't give up. Ooh. If you did what you did in Seattle, he had a phenomenal season with Seattle despite having that terrible offensive line around him. He is, to me, he's a massive upgrade over Aiden O'Connell. He was number 4 in stats as a quarterback in the league. Crazy. But it doesn't matter because Sal Block what? Sal Block D is going to lock his ass up.
Block D.
This is a W for me.
That's right. That's right. There it is. Cell block D, baby.
Yeah.
Cell block D.
Yeah, I like it. So this is
dear.
Yeah, for me, like what have they really done? They got Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll just brought in his quarterback that he had in Seattle. They haven't really done much to upgrade besides getting Omari Hampton out there. But the problem is, like, who do they have blocking?
Genty.
Oh yeah, Genty. I apologize. So Genty, because it was the Chargers. But even with that, though, there's people that saying that even with Genty, what he was able to do there in the Mountain West Conference, he's facing a lot better competition now within the league, where he's going to have to actually prove a lot more. He didn't have to do that much against the Mountain Conference itself. These are guys that are from the ACC, all these other great conferences. That's who he's going to be going up against. And I don't feel like he's going to be able to translate that into the NFL. I know at first I was one of the guys that wanted Genty in as well, but after thinking about it, I'm just glad that we didn't get him or trade up for him and all that. But they don't have anybody on that offensive line, I think, that's going to be able to help them out to be able to progress as an offense and actually score some points.
What about you, Jay?
Well, Dak, cover your ears real quick. Yeah, Genty, I totally agree with you about the Mountain West competition. The only game he showed up and kicked some butt was against Oregon. That was literally from a level of competition. Like, everybody always points to that game of like, we did it against Oregon. And so I totally am on that same train. I thought he was going to be not a bust, but an overinflated drafted player. Like, he shouldn't have been a top 10 player.
Which he was.
Yeah. So I definitely have Denver winning this game. It is also, I don't know the exact stat, but on Thursday Night Football, the home team has such a better advantage because of the short week than it is a traveling team going anywhere on a Thursday night. So that in itself, get a small little boost.
Well, I know better than to ever question odds with Jay. So,
and if we are all right, and we're coming off of a loss in Houston, that will also, light some fire under some people's butts. So I think that'll be a pretty easy dub right there.
So 8-2.
Yeah. So, my thoughts on this: you got to give respect where it's due. All right, you already gave some respect. I believe it was you, Libre. Respect to it was you, Dak. Geno Smith.
Mm-hmm.
Geno gave some amazing. He was amazing last season. He really was. Respect. Brock Bowers, probably one of the best. The best weapons in the NFL. Respect. Ashton Genty. We'll see. Again, you said it. Mountain West. He ran all over the Mountain West. But you're going. He's like you said. He's going up against SEC and Big 12 and teams now, or players from those conferences, and it's not going to be as easy for him to get going. And then of course you got to give respect to Max Crosby. But that's the thing about the Raiders is while they upgraded some pieces, and they got permission to wheel Pete Carroll in from the home. But they have to have him back before lights out.
Meals on wheels.
Yeah, I mean, because even though they did all of that, man, as a whole, that team didn't really get that much better. They upgraded a couple of pieces, but we made this reference, Jay and I, on we talked about on Nothing Rhymes before. A team being a puzzle, right? Like a 53-piece puzzle, right? And I guess you throw coaches in there too. So we'll just say like a 100-piece puzzle, whatever. And you can put pieces in and start maybe to see the beginning of the picture forming. But as far as being able to actually tell what that picture is with the Raiders, they're not there yet. They might be a bit on the come up, but they're not there yet. And so, that's also a dub for us. Yes.
Yep.
So yeah.
All right.
Universal dubs.
Universal dub.
I love it.
Week
Raider
11.
haters. Raider haters.
The Chiefs come to town. So it's back-to-back division games for the Broncos at home this time. And it's the first of two matchups. Same thing for the Raiders previous game. It's the first of two. This is the first of two against the Chiefs. I'm guessing this will more than likely be a primetime game just for the simple fact that they love to drool over Patrick Mahomes, and I'm pretty sure Taylor Swift's going to be there. So, so it's a game that everybody and their mom is going to be watching, and all the Swifties, of course.
At least all the teenage girls in America.
Yeah, and but I think that the Broncos are ready for them. So then we can no longer have to hear about Chiefs fans crying that our last win against them was against their second or thirds, which, by the way, let me just say, if you're a Chiefs fan, you should definitely be super concerned, because if those are your 2s and 3s and they lost like that to the Broncos, that's what your future is going to look like when Patrick Mahomes finally decides to hang up his cleats. Or if Andy Reid is no longer there, which, is a possibility.
What did the Broncos do to their ones last year? I mean, they won. We held them to the lowest score
of the season.
For their offense, and they beat us on a lucky field goal block.
Super lucky.
That is it. Okay, we owned that game in every way. We owned that game.
Bo Nix outplayed Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, Bo Nix outplayed Patrick Mahomes in stats. I mean, dude, look, I'm not saying that we're going to sweep the Chiefs. I'm not, because they are the Chiefs. They are dangerous. It's what they do.
I am.
Andy Reid is one hell of a coach. They always do find a way to get to win, right? I mean, we agree on that. They find ways to win when they shouldn't be able to win. It's what they do. It's what makes them special. It's why they've been to the freaking Super Bowl so much in recent memory. So I'm not saying we're going to sweep them, but I'm not saying that we're just going to roll over and show our belly to these guys. It's not going to be an easy win for them at all.
Quinn Miners might, though. I'm just kidding.
Go ahead, show them that belly.
Yeah.
Jay, go ahead.
For me, this going into this game itself, it's the first one of the two. It's at home. We're going to show up. We're going to show out. They're not going to be able to do anything at the Mile High City. For me, it's still going to be a close game, but we'll definitely take the dub in this one.
W.
Love it.
Love it, love it, love it.
Did Jay give his
No.
piece?
I was gonna say I don't have tons because I feel like we've hit a lot of the points that I would make. Kansas City is a ticking time bomb of the needle finally moving to the side of losing close games. That is not a sustainable method for longevity for any. I don't care how good your team is. Like, if put in the same exact situations next year for Kansas City, they're winning half of those games. So I'm really not too concerned about this game, to be quite honest. We are looking at a bye week after, and again, that is usually a motivator for players, knowing that let's go 150%. If we're on the fence for an injury, we're playing, we're ready to go because we know we have next week to rest and have off. So it's do or die time. Perfect time for this first Kansas City matchup. And I always like the one in the very late part of the season because it might not matter. But this is massive. This might be for the division in a head-to-head matchup. So this is maybe the most important game on the schedule overall. Small, hot, pepper take there. But this is the swing. This is what shows, are you a player ready to go into the playoff run after the bye or not? So I got this as a W, but if it swings the other way, it ain't going to be great. It's not going to be good. It's a litmus test.
Yeah. Dak,
Is everybody gone?
I would say this is a W for the Broncos. I mean, the trajectory for both teams is opposite. Broncos are progressing while the Chiefs are regressing, especially on offense for the Chiefs. I'm not really scared of their offense, like we used to be when they had the Tyreek Hill or what have you, so yeah, this is a W.
Yep.
We're going into the bye week at Dawn. So can we take a quick bye ourselves and hit a couple more comments?
Go ahead.
Shy Vargas got a question. Shy Vargas has got a question for us. Our resident Orange and Blue Network hype man. I can't wait, by the way, for when we actually start the season and during the Get Bucked game day show. Shy gets to give us his hype video each week. I'm so excited about that. But Shy asks us, do we think RJ Harvey is better than Genty?
I would say no. I mean, not better than. Genty has a more well-rounded skill set. Harvey is going to excel at a couple things, but he might be top 5 in the NFL at those couple things. What he does extremely well, but he is not a wear and tear every down back that Genty is going to be in the league. Two different backs.
Yeah, I agree.
Harvey's in a better situation too, in my opinion.
Yeah. RJ Harvey's in a way better situation. He does have some skill sets that Genty doesn't have. At least one. And that's the one that I'm talking about is one that we might not see very often, if at all, especially in his rookie season. But that is Wildcat, putting the running back in the, because he was a quarterback for most of his life, putting him into, into the position to throw the ball, some interesting trick plays that way. But
Joker for a running back.
I totally thought you were going a different route on that. I thought you meant that he was going to win the quad competition between him and
we already
we chatted on that.
We already hit on RJ Harvey's quads earlier in the show.
Yeah,
he definitely wins that.
I mean,
but I wouldn't say he's better, I wouldn't say he's even worse. I would say he's actually more comparable than people give him credit for.
I'm blushing over RJ Harvey's quads, if I'm being honest.
Oh my gosh.
I didn't know you swung that way, Dak.
Shwing.
Hey.
I mean, hey, they both
I got
gel.
a better swing than the Rockies. I'm just kidding.
Let's see. We had Michael Ronquillo coming back in saying running back RJ Quadzilla Harvey is going to show out. That's awesome. And he thinks when we were talking about the sweep of the Chiefs, Juan Marquez is brooms out.
Brooms out, baby.
Wow.
I agree with you, bro. I agree with you.
Declaration there.
So do we all agree we win the bye week?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Definitely.
Can't lose the bye week.
No, it's gonna be a tie, bro. Let's be real here.
You know, and what I love about the positioning of our bye week right now is how late in the season that it is. We only have 6 games left in the regular season. Getting these guys to the point, if there are any little tweaks and injuries or whatever the Broncos may have, this just gives them that opportunity late in the season to get ready for the playoff push itself.
Yeah.
So having
You're
that
so
there
right.
is so huge.
You're
I couldn't
so
I love
agree
the
right.
late buys.
Agreed.
The bye being right after the London game would be a nice short-term pacifier, I'm sure. But that's really not for the long term. This is ideal if you didn't have a London game.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
in my opinion, there's nothing worse than an early bye week for a team.
Yeah.
The early bye weeks are the worst, man. That's the worst thing that can happen.
Or week 5 bye weeks. It's like,
Oh no, I think they can't start till week 6. Week 6 is as early as a bye week can happen. But I mean, we had that a few years ago. I can't remember which season it was. But dude,
I want to say
terrible. It was terrible.
yeah.
And so then we went, but then there's nothing better in my opinion than getting the late season bye.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I love it. I love this bye.
While we're on the bye week right now, can I just comment real quick on this schedule as a whole?
Mm-hmm.
I think this is one of the best schedules the Broncos have seen in a very long time.
Yeah.
I'm not going to call it necessarily the softest schedule, but there are so many winnable games for the Broncos based on what we saw last season. There are so many winnable games in this, the 17 week or 17 game season.
I love the way it flows, honestly.
It does. Yeah. It flows great. We get based on the way it looks, win, 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 loss, win, loss, based on what we're thinking, win,
right.
Win. So,
the flow is okay,
good.
But I would still replace the NFC East for the NFC South again. I would love to do that.
That's
because Sean Payton's the NFC South's daddy.
Yeah, correct. He should have a shirt.
I just think it's funny. NFC South's daddy. Oh, yeah. Just last year. Sorry, go ahead, bro.
Gentlemen, Washington is on the horizon after the bye week. Jaden Daniels, they got something special going on over there in Washington, man. And what's his name? The Dan Quinn.
Dan Quinn and Cliff Kingsbury is
Cliff Kingsbury
is the offensive coordinator. So I can only imagine that Washington's defense is going to get a little bit better than they were last year, just for the simple fact that Dan Quinn is a defensive-minded coach. So, unfortunately for me, I don't think that Bo Nix is at that level yet in terms of saying, powerhouse. So kind of maybe not so much in the same field as when they played the Eagles. But I think that, unfortunately, our boys are going to have to take an L on this one, just for the simple fact that, Washington is a very dangerous team. They're definitely going to be in contention in their own, between them and the Eagles in terms of trying to win their division. And it's one of those where it's like, hey, whenever I say the Broncos are going to lose, prove me wrong. And it's Sunday Night Football. It's prime time. Unfortunately, our boys still kind of get nervous under the big bright lights. So they kind of have to work their way around it. But unfortunately, I don't think we can contend yet with a team like the Eagles or Washington.
Okay.
I agree with you, man. This is a loss. If I'm being, sorry. Is it okay if I go?
No, you go.
Go.
Okay, yeah. I think this is a loss in my opinion as well. I think it'll be a close game. Bo will shine in the bright lights along with JD5, but yeah, I just think that the Commanders, in terms of where they're at, they're just that much higher of a tier than where Denver is, in my opinion, with the talent they've added this offseason. So yeah, I think this is a loss for sure.
I will say loss as well. This is going to be the two quarterbacks from that draft class that stick out moving forward. I think this will be like a marquee matchup for years to come.
Which is why they made it prime time.
Yeah, Daniels is a phenomenal quarterback in a phenomenal situation, like the situation discussion we were just having. Fit is everything, and they have the perfect fit between him and Kingsbury. If it doesn't work out with Quinn, I think Cliff Kingsbury would get the head coaching job in a second, because I think he's tied to the hip with Daniels. So that's going to be probably the best NFC team in a trend sense in the next 5-10 years. They're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? Just let me quickly say, Johnny. Just
go.
Just quick point. The thing that kind of makes me laugh about the whole Cliff Kingsbury thing is that he is still on the Cardinals payroll for another 2-3 years.
Right?
I did not know that. I didn't know.
Literally winning on the Cardinals' dime. Go ahead.
Yeah, he's their Russell Wilson situation.
And that's after a whole year of sabbatical in Thailand.
Yeah.
But still.
Johnny, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're good. You're good, man. Let me talking about Cliff Kingsbury, and Jay and I have hit on this quite a bit, is that, historically teams under Cliff Kingsbury plateau. They have a good couple of years or a good season, and then the next year they have some good games, and then they just kind of get stuck. And that's how it usually is under Cliff Kingsbury. But I gotta say, Cliff Kingsbury has never had a quarterback like Jaden Daniels.
Not Kyler Murray. It's not Kyler Murray.
Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray at this point, I don't care what you feel about him. He's a middling quarterback at best.
Quick question. Cliff Kingsbury, did he coach up Patrick Mahomes, though, in college when he was with Texas Tech? I'm trying to remember.
Yes. Their paths crossed. A little bit. Very much so.
Yeah.
Their paths crossed.
But historically at the NFL level, his teams, his offensive teams have plateaued and gotten stuck.
Oh, for sure.
So but unfortunately, I'm with you guys on this. I don't think they're going to plateau because, like I said, Cliff Kingsbury's never had a Jaden Daniels.
Yeah.
And Jaden Daniels is special. And I think Bo Nix is special. I think those two could go on eventually to be the John Elway, Joe Montana kind of comparison at quarterback in this league in the future. Bo Nix versus Jaden Daniels for years and years and years. So or even John Elway and Dan Marino, since those two were in the same class.
At least he's not in the AFC. At least he's not in the AFC.
Amen to that, cuz. Amen to that.
True, that's true, bro.
But I do believe, here's what I will say. It's just like it always is. I'm going to say with every single game that I give an L to in this, it's going to be damn close. Mm-hmm. It's not going to be a blowout. We're not going to get destroyed by the Commanders. No. But I am going to give it an L. So that's 3 L's so far, I think.
What is that? I'm 9 in.
Is that because has everybody gone? No, Libre's still got
it. So one of my things, especially when we talk about the sophomore slump, I think that Jaden Daniels will have a little bit of a slump just because of how much he excelled this year, where he was so up high just from out of the gates itself. You saw there at the end of the year that he was starting to decline a little bit and then that's when you saw Bo Nix started to rise a little bit. So I feel like he will drop off a little bit, but overall, I do think that, yes, this will be coming an L for us. But like how you were saying there, Baki, is that it's going to be a close game, and it's going to be where whoever has the ball last, it's going to win the ball game itself. And right before you brought it up, I was going to say this is going to be that matchup with Marino and Elway. You know, that coming out of the same class, the same things that put out there. They're going to have great careers that they're going to put out there. But I feel like overall, Bo Nix will have a better career more than Jaden Daniels is. That's just my opinion. But for this game, I considered it a loss.
Yep.
So consensus L.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
So that puts the Broncos at what?
3
Doing
losses.
the math.
3
9
losses.
3 losses and 10 wins? No, 9
Nine.
wins, 9 and 3.
9
Mhm.
and 3.
So, I mean, dude, if we're already at 9 and 3 by week 13, I mean,
Pretty good.
come on, pretty damn good, right?
You might be competing for the first round bye at this point in the season.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
just for the record, I'm the only one that didn't agree with losing to Houston. So technically, mine is still 10-2.
Yes. However, hostess with the mostest. This is these kind of shows when we do them, they're consensus shows.
Adonis
And
trying
you got
to
outvoted.
single himself out. So I
I'm
mean, if
just
he
saying-
went with the Raiders,
I'm just
he
saying
went
that
with the Raiders.
That asterisk is just right next to me, man. It's right next
Don't
to
be
me.
going all not my president on this thing, okay? You got outvoted.
Don doesn't like democracy.
I'm adding your ass, bro, on Twitter.
But
We
moving
say
on.
apolitical on this show, but that was funny. I don't care.
Yeah. Moving on. Week
Can
14.
we grab a couple more comments, Don?
Oh, go ahead.
I mean, you look exhausted. I'm sorry. I know I keep doing this to you. But I want to make sure that our peeps get their say. MHRT Network popping in. I'm pretty sure that this is Richie Rich
Captain Jack.
over on Wild Wild West saying no. That would be Jack
Raiders.
Kenna, the host on Wild Wild West for the Raiders. Predicts
Isn't
a
it Captain
Raiders record of 9-8.
Ooh, and I would say
That's
8 or 9.
I think
but-
that's a little rich.
That
but yeah,
really
yeah,
is rich.
That is rich. Juan Marquez saying Sunday Night Football against the Commanders. Cannot wait. I think Broncos win a close one.
Woo!
So Juan
From your mouth to God's ears.
is separate from
geez,
mine, right?
I would take that. I wouldn't be mad at that.
He says that the reason he's considering this a dub though is because we're coming off the bye week.
Mhm.
Oh,
So
okay.
that could be a factor. That definitely
Preparation?
could be a factor.
Yeah.
Michael Ronquillo coming back in. Commanders don't scare me because Jaden Daniels is going to have more tapes on him. The only thing I got to say about that is the exact same thing can be said about Bo Nix.
Agreed.
So, Gary Neighbors, like a good neighbors, State Farm is there. We used to call Mr. Neighbors State Farm.
Ooh.
He says, "Go Broncos Country, 17-0."
Yes, please.
Only in Madden, bro.
That'd be amazing. It's a very Shy Vargas take, but I love it.
Are we playing rookie level on Madden if we go 17 and that's what I want to know, bro. Like, let's be real here.
Oh, that's literally me, Madden, bro. 17
But going, we're at 9-3, boys. Let's we're 9-3, boys. Let's close the season out on a high note. Let's go.
Is there a CPU assist? Sorry.
A CPU assist.
Oh man. But gentlemen, the Raiders we go to Las Vegas, I'm sorry, for the second round. I'm not even going to waste that much time on this, to be honest with you. I think the Broncos win.
They're
and we sweep
repeats.
The Raiders.
Get your brooms out, bro. We sweeping the ass. Oh, sorry. Got carried away.
It's okay.
Hey, you better watch your ass, bro.
It is past 9 o'clock Central, so let it fly.
You want to talk about a black
dude.
hole? Oh my God! Anyway,
No, man. The Raiders. That's another dub. Look, they not much is going to change from when
we're not losing sleep on that game.
Well, it's been 4 weeks at that point since we played them. Not much is going to change in that 4 weeks, bro. So Broncos going to stomp that ass.
Yes, sir. I agree.
Yeah. And
It's not
then we go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say it's not like that game's gonna get flexed or anything. So like
No.
we can, we'll be fine with just a regular LA.
Yeah, sweep, baby, sweep.
Yeah.
The next
Mean-
game, week 15 against the
Ooh.
Packers.
Ooh,
this
Jordan
one.
Love,
this is a tough one.
not Aaron,
Aaron-
Josh Jacobs,
Ooh.
Christian Watson,
Yeah.
what's his
Matthew
name?
Golden.
Matthew
Matthew
Golden,
Golden.
Yeah. They got Matthew
He's
Golden.
a beast, bro. Ooh,
Yeah.
he's nice.
and
Lucky
Did
guy.
they have any coaching changes? I can't remember.
No, Matt
Not
LaFleur.
off the top of my head.
I don't think so. I think LaFleur's still there.
Yep.
I
No,
gotta
I know
do-
he
I
is.
gotta
I just
tip-
couldn't remember if they lost any coordinators.
I got to tip my cap to Matt LaFleur. The
I don't
job
think
he's done
so.
with
I think
Rodgers.
the Packers
leaving.
are pretty much set. But unfortunately, I think that this is one where the Broncos kind of get caught off guard. And I think that they, just for the simple fact that the last time they played each other, I think it was when Jordan Love first took over after Aaron left. And the Broncos won a close one. You know, that's
with
when we
Russell
saw-
Wilson, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's when we saw
Wow.
Locke, who filled in for Justin Simmons that game. I think that was when Justin Simmons got suspended or something. And but PJ Locke, that was his
yeah.
first game. Yeah, that was his
Yeah.
first game in, and he had that really awesome interception. But it was Jordan Love's first time at the bat, and he's gotten a lot more experience since then. And I mean, but the weapons that the Packers have are just, you know, crazy good. And you know, as you guys said, with Golden, who's said to be the best wide receiver pick in the draft, supposedly by the analysts.
That maybe Travis Hunter.
Yeah,
Saying.
you know, so
Yeah.
I think that unfortunately this is one that gets past the Broncos, and I think the Broncos lose that game.
Yeah.
And that would be what, 11-3 at this point?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, 11-3. Yeah, no. Here's the thing about Green Bay. One, I think the fans are going to come into play pretty heavily for this one, because here's the truth, man. Even though they're not in an in-division rivalry, and even though we don't always often talk about the Packers, I talk to Packers fans quite often. I had my former brother-in-law, Packer fan. I talked to a lot of Green Bay Packers fans. They hate us.
Yeah.
Like, they are still, I mean, they are still nursing the wounds of Super Bowl 32.
Yes, they are.
Okay. Like, and they are not over it. And that fan base gets loud and proud when we are in Green Bay. That's going to come into effect. Jordan Love, I don't think he's better than Bo Nix, but I do think he is a very, very good quarterback with Matt LaFleur as his head coach, with, like you said, a lot of weapons around him. I think, again, I've said it several times. These L's that I give the Broncos, they're close. I don't think the Broncos get blown out once this year, but
Nope.
I do believe I'm going to say that this is another L for the Broncos. So I agree with you there. So
Mm-hmm.
For me, this is a home game for us. So I feel like even though the Green Bay Packers travel very well, there is a huge community here in Denver with Green Bay Packers fans, which is surprising.
huge.
And just in general, they actually do travel very well to other stadiums as well. They will be in there. But I feel like, just like the last time, we will go in there and we'll squeak out the win with this game here, with Bo Nix throwing a touchdown to Vele. Calling it now.
Wow.
Oh, you know what,
that-
Don? You guys don't usually use this, but I kind of feel the need to do it. Here it comes, Jay.
Yeah, absolutely. That deems a hot take soundbite.
There we go.
I have this as a W as well. I think this is a game that could get flexed depending on where Green Bay is, because I think this will be a really important game for both. I think both of us will be in similar spots of like competing for that playoff spot, competing for seeding. Like, we're both in it as far as the mix. So I have this as a barely W, but a W. W at full strength on paper.
All right,
Mm-hmm.
Dak, you're the tiebreaker, bro.
This is Al for me as well. I just think maybe Matt LaFleur outcoaches Sean Payton.
Mm,
What?
could be.
Wow.
I don't know, man. I respect the hell out of Matt LaFleur, what he's done with that Packers team since Aaron Rodgers left, and the way he's developed Jordan Love. They have offensive firepower that I'm, especially the young wide receivers. I think maybe they might have too much for a secondary. I don't know. That just for that game though. We are a little tired or something. I don't know. It's just going to be one of those games. You can't win. You can't go through your whole schedule winning all the games, can you? This ain't Madden, what we just said. So yeah, I just think this is probably one of those trap games, in my opinion. Despite the Broncos having the better overall talent, this is one of those games that they just struggle.
So
Pick of the season.
Mhm.
Yeah, L. That's totally. I mean,
That's plausible.
like I said, I was on the fence
Yeah.
too, so that makes total sense.
now
I'm fine with an L.
that would put us at what now? 10-4?
11-4 or
10-4. It'd be 10-4
10-4.
with the bye
Mhm.
week.
Yep.
Yep. So 10-4 going into week
the last
16.
three.
Against Jacksonville.
Travis Hunter's return.
Woo! Returning for that L on the way out.
Yeah, I think the Broncos win that game. I think
So-
Jacksonville.
Yes,
I think
sir.
Jacksonville is way too still. Like I know that they made some strides, but I don't think that even with the what they've done, I don't think it's still better than Denver. And week 16 is a very crucial week for every single team, unless you're like a powerhouse and you've already secured, your division and the number 1 seed. Then then you really don't care. But there's only 2 spots, one in each conference for that luxury. Hopefully the Broncos are in that spot by then, but if they're not, they're still a very formidable team. And hopefully this time around, the Broncos aren't trying to win one more damn game to secure a playoff spot or, a higher seeding at that. But again, Jacksonville coming to Denver, it's going to be cold. The Jaguars are kind of like, the rest of those Miami teams where they don't play in
They're a
warm weather.
beach team.
Yeah, they stink. And, we made fun of Dak, about being, the quarterback that's been in this league for as long as he has. He has never won a playoff game, let alone been to a Super Bowl. And
I haven't.
And you can kind of throw Trevor Lawrence in that same boat because, he was supposed to be like the Messiah for Jacksonville and, the next big thing and all that. And he's been everything but that, regardless of what the Jacksonville Jaguars have done, head coach changes and, bringing in big free agent players if they tried. And, their last shot at it is, bringing in NFL draft picks from the very top, mind you, top 10, and hoping that, they can strike gold. But they're in a very tough division as it is. So I don't think that them coming to Denver is going to be good for them. And I think that Denver wins this game without a doubt.
Okay. Well, one thing I would love to say about Trevor Lawrence is he's a very talented quarterback. He really is. However, one thing about that dude, this is going to be week 16 on the season out of an 18-week season. And I was going to say, what do we know best about Trevor Lawrence is that he really uses his head. Yep. And not in the way you want him to. That dude makes moves that get him knocked out every single season. Helmet hits, concussions. Yeah, him and Tua, man. It's like those Florida guys. All they want to do is just lead with their head. And, and so at this point in the season, he may not even be suiting up. Because enough of the season's gone by. I mean, he could be injured, and one of these days, one of these injuries to Trevor Lawrence is going to end his career. One of these days,
that's up for the Jaguars.
He takes them hard, man. So, no, the Jaguars added Travis Hunter. That's a special dude. No, yet
he can't play quarterback.
We'll be seeing him on both sides of the ball yet, and by week 16, probably. But as far as as a whole team, they're not there. And no, that's a dub. That's a dub.
I agree. Dub.
Yeah, this is a dub.
Well, I was just gonna say I'm gonna say my piece on the Jacksonville game, and then I gotta go. I have children unruly here. But Brian Thomas is a certified G. Travis Hunter isn't going to be double teamed because of him. So that duo on the outsides is going to be fire for Trevor Lawrence. He's going to have more weapons and more at his disposal than he has ever had, including Clemson. So, like, Jacksonville's offense could absolutely take off this year. I could totally see that. And
they did lose their star tight end to the Broncos, though, Jay.
Yeah, but, like, you know.
Evan Ingram revenge game.
Yeah, I mean, ETN's not bad either as a running back. At one point, he was a huge talent, a lot of promise. So, I mean, like, they're not as bad as what we usually think of as the Jaguars. So, it'll probably be a dub, but, like, you know, we also look at the schedule there, and it's right before all hell breaks loose and, you know, really tough games coming up. So, like, again, hopefully we don't look ahead and think Jacksonville is such an easy game. Like, all is well. It's at home. Like, trap game as well kind of thing. I don't know. But never know.
But do you give it a dub or an L, Jay, before you get out, since we're going to lose our tiebreaker before the last two games?
I'll give it a dub. All right. Dub. I thank you, gentlemen. Sorry for the pop
Later,
in,
bro.
pop out.
Thank you for coming, Jay. It was great having you, brother. Good seeing you as always.
Bye, Jay.
Absolutely.
Seeing you, Jay.
Go
Love
Broncos.
you, guys.
Let's go.
Go Broncos.
Go
Go
Thunder.
Broncos, baby. Oh, damn.
All right. So where we're at, right? What's that now? 11-4.
Yeah.
Yes. I like it.
I
So
don't think you heard me.
what did you say?
Go Thunder.
Oh, yeah, he's a hater. Don't listen to him.
Hey, you shut your mouth. When you
Oh.
speak
We're
to
gonna
me,
meet back.
okay?
We're meeting backstage after this. I'm gonna take off my headset.
You just shut your mouth when you speak to me.
Oh.
You disgust me.
You have some comments out here, Johnny.
Yeah, for sure. Billy Timmons, my boy from the Army, who by the way is I believe is just now getting out, retiring. Says, good evening, fellow veterans and Denver Broncos for life fans. Hope all is well. It's good to see you, Billy. I love you, brother. He says, oh, wait a minute. Okay. He says, at David Yonkin, I know right now they need to take a page from us with Russell Wilson and paying that amount of money before seeing him play lately. Yeah, he says, yes, sir. He is getting out of the Army. Congratulations, my friend.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've gotten your DD-214 yet, but I'm going to tell you, man, there's nothing better than the feeling of getting that piece of paper in your hand. Oh, I actually had a blanket made out of it. I'm not even joking. That's how much I was so excited to have my walk-in papers. But and then we had one last one. I thought maybe not. No, that's it. That's it for now. So moving on.
Week 17, Christmas game. Chiefs.
Ooh.
Thursday.
Merry
Broncos.
Christmas. Merry Christmas, Broncos Country.
Dear
I'm
Santa.
not even going to waste time on this. Broncos win this game. Leave it alone.
Yeah.
On the road at Arrowhead.
Yeah. We're winning.
That's one of the
that
most
game, bro.
hostile places in the NFL.
We're winning.
One of
that
the
game, bro.
coldest games in December, especially late in December. For
Yeah,
me,
December in Kansas City, dude. I lived in Missouri for 4 years. I'm telling you, man.
Yeah.
December in Kansas City is frigid.
Ooh.
It's like that humidity cold. It's just like
We're winning
cold
that
air.
game, bro.
For me, that we win the first one. I think Casey's is going to end up winning this game. I say that we're going to lose this one just because of the environment, the hostility itself. So it's just going to be another short week. Even though for me, coming off an easy victory off of Jacksonville, but it is a short week going into KC. That environment is going to be tough for any team to go out there. So I'm actually going to say we're going to lose this one. As much as I want us to sweep KC this year, it won't happen.
Oh boy.
Dak,
Get the broom out. We're sweeping, and we're sweeping the whole division.
Ooh, ooh. I'm
All I
feeling it.
want for Christmas is
Tell
to
'em,
open up a W underneath the damn Christmas tree, and especially if it's a W against FUKC.
I love it. You
Yeah.
know what? Libre, I know I said earlier I wasn't saying that the Broncos were sweeping the Chiefs, but I also wasn't not saying it.
Right? Well, I
So
agree.
you know
I
what?
agree with you.
Come on, Johnny.
We're gonna give a consensus W here, baby, because
Yeah.
listen, I said it earlier, and my own argument from earlier is what convinced me to change my tune a little bit. We came this close to sweeping them last year in spectacular and convincing fashion. We're
No,
sweeping
I
the
agree.
crap out of these dudes. All right. You know what? Like, the Broncos going to go out there. Silence the
Give me
fans
the damn
at
Swiffer.
Arrowhead Stadium.
So they're playing
and
the
they can
Grinch.
take that broom. They can take that broom that they're going to be bringing out on the field to clear any snow that's covering the lines, and we're going to sweep them right off their own field.
Call me Mr. Clean because we sweeping that
to
ass.
show the world. It is time to show the world that the Chiefs no longer own the AFC West. They might have a controlling interest in the AFC West, but they don't own it outright anymore.
Nope.
For all those jabronis that are out there, we're gonna turn that broom sideways and shove it up their candy ass. Let's go.
Oh yeah, brother.
Well, is cooking.
Let's go.
Well, let me tell you something, Bucky.
I love it, bro.
You can't see me anyway.
You really can't see me.
I've almost forgotten. I've almost forgotten what you actually look like. I'm kidding. I know your face.
You're a good-looking man, Bronco Libre. I see you behind that mask.
It's because of the mask. That's why.
Johnny,
So, all right.
Do you see what I see in the comments?
Let me see here. What do we got?
Oh no, he did not.
We have a no.
Oh, Billy. Well, Billy, in his defense, Billy didn't join the show till late. Billy, are you ready for this? Okay.
Do it.
We on the Orange and Blue Network cannot stand recycling a name for a group like No Fly Zone and then throwing a 2.0 on the back of it. No. This secondary gets its own damn name. And we on the Orange and Blue Network, we came up with the name. And we're going to tweet this and share it every single day until Broncos Country helps us make it a thing. Billy, are you ready for this? Are you ready? Cell Block D, baby. Cell Block D. Prepare to get locked down.
Locking up. Locked down, baby.
So there you go. There it is.
And we
I
do provide orange jump shoots from the get-go, just so you know.
Yeah. But the numbers, they're blue.
Yeah.
Their numbers are blue.
I like it.
Yeah.
Get to know your correctional officers, or for short, CO Colorado, because they about to lock your ass down and put you straight in in Broncos jail, baby. It's time. It's time. I'm so freaking pumped. So yeah, Billy, whenever you see that on Twitter, on Facebook, going out there, help me share it out there, brother. Help us out. Okay. So what is our record now standing? Where are we standing with our record right now with that win? Christmas Day, Christmas gift from the Broncos.
12-4.
Yeah, 12-4, baby. All right.
And let's just throw it in there. Week 18, doesn't matter if it's January 3rd or 4th. I'm going to say that the Broncos win that game too. So
yeah, at this point, the Chargers are eliminated from the postseason.
Yeah.
This is another home game. This is our last home game for us.
Yeah. The only way the Broncos lose that game is if it's the same thing happens to them that happened to KC, where it's like the second and the third go out against the Chargers, and it's a game that the Chargers need to win to make another wild card round. So that's the only way that they win that game is they beat our 2s and 3s at home.
What do you think, Libre?
For me, just how like Adon was just saying, it's gonna be already over. We're gonna be the number 1 team in the West. We're gonna have that locked down. But I feel like we're not gonna put a goose egg like the Chiefs did last year against us, and we'll actually come out there and actually be prepared and go in and play. We're not gonna lay an egg out there. We'll go out there and we'll win it.
Okay, well then I'm going to be the odd man out on this one.
Oh.
Because I don't believe the Broncos sweep the Chargers this season. I believe we split.
Oh.
And we already gave – and here's how I'm going to put it, okay? The only reason I'm doing it on this game is because I believe that just in general, I believe that we split. And as consensus went, we already gave the dub to the first game against the Chargers on the road. So I'm going to put the L on this one. Now it can flop, in my opinion. Lose the first meeting in week 3, but win in week 18. Since consensus, we already gave the dub on week 3. I'm going to give it the L in week 18. But to your point, Adon, again, that's only because the Broncos, I don't believe, I get what you're saying, Libre, about not wanting to lay an egg and not wanting to show up and look bad. But I also believe Sean Payton is one of the most intelligent head coaches in the NFL. Bo Lowry is, one of the best conditioning coaches. I believe that if at that point, if we are at sitting at 12-4, at that point, we are already in the playoffs. At that point we've clinched. So I don't believe they're going to risk Bo or, Greenlaw, who's got an injury history, or Hufanga, who's got an injury history, or Pat Surtain, anybody getting any of our starters, any of our star players getting hurt in week 18 to prove a point, just to prove a point. So I believe that we go out there and we start based on our record prediction. We've already clinched, and I believe we don't start our starters. We don't play our starters in that game, and that's why we lose.
Okay, I could see that 100%. As long as we have it clinched and we are secured at whatever position we're at. If that game is a determination to say we lose that and we fall to a 6 or 7 spot, or as opposed to if we win that and get say a 3rd or a 2nd, you have to think about that as well.
Sure.
But
if we're 12-4, we've already clinched the playoffs.
Okay.
Because I don't think there's any world where, so I don't know. I'm going to give it the L, but it doesn't matter because all 3 of you gave it the dub. So it's a consensus dub and I'm out. So.
And LA is like home field advantage for the Broncos anyway. And I'm talking about the Chargers because we travel well.
But that's a home game.
That's because every single when it comes to the Chargers.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. When it comes, but I mean, even if it wasn't, let's be honest, Dak, every single team travels well to LA against the Chargers.
Yeah.
Because they have one fan, I think, maybe 2, and he's kind of on the fence.
Yeah.
So, but that puts us based on consensus, guys, that puts us at 13-4.
That's solid, man. That is solid.
That's huge right there.
That's phenomenal. I'd take that all day. Bo slump, what? Sophomore slump. Get the hell out of here.
Billy Timmons popping back in saying Cell Block D is better than No Fly Zone. So he likes it. Cell Block D, baby. Cell Block D.
Let's go.
So 13. There it is. I love that. What is that? Is that a coin?
CBD.
No, it's a lapel pin.
That's beautiful.
Yep.
I got one.
At Mile High.
Pin.
It's the original.
I'm gonna need you. I'm gonna need you to take that pin. Okay. I'm gonna need you to carefully wrap it in bubble wrap so it doesn't get damaged. Place it in a manila envelope. Address it to Tennessee and send it my way.
Johnny.
Hey, I got you.
Hey, real quick, Johnny.
Yo,
Could we potentially get a CBD oil company to sponsor the show since it's Cell Block D? I'm just saying.
dude, I'll try. I'll start reaching out. I've got no qualms about being sponsored by a dispensary. I'm just saying.
I'm still trying to
I'm
get it
just Cell
sponsored by
Block D.
Corona because Corona is the king of beers. So
no, it's not. It's
So,
Modelo time.
I'm talking to some people over there.
I like Corona.
So
Did you
expect
say
an
Coronas,
email-
bro?
Expect an email soon,
Ah.
Johnny. 'Cause we're gonna make some history over here. Man.
Listen, as the token white guy on the show right now, because I am, I
So
do
funny.
love my cervezas. Okay, period.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, nice.
Ask anybody who's ever drank with me. I'm either drinking Modelo or Corona.
Ooh.
Always.
Ooh.
Okay.
My
And
kinda
I've
guy.
always got cut. You know, Don has been with me at a game.
at the United
What
Center.
was I drinking though? What was I
Oh,
drinking the whole
nice.
time, bro?
Yeah, big old can.
I was drinking giant tall boy Modelos with
Yeah.
tahini sprinkled over the top with
Ooh.
lime.
Yeah.
That's
Damn,
right.
dude.
I love those.
Ah.
So here's
That
the
sounds
thing.
good.
Corona's at that bar, bro.
I don't know if I would say that I'm a Corona or a Modelo guy. Either way, I just grab whichever one's available to me. That's the one I go with. If I'm
Whatever,
going to
yeah.
a game and I see Modelo, I'm grabbing Modelo. If I see a Corona, I'm grabbing a Corona. Either way.
Dude.
Although I will say this, and this will be the last bit I say about this. German beer is superior to all beer. So
Oh wow.
and if you
Can't go wrong with
and I'm only
Heineken.
saying listen. I will no Heineken. Heineken is like piss, dude. And Heineken isn't even German. Heineken's not German. It's Finnish. Okay, so no, I'm talking.
like
I'm
Heineken.
talking like real, real beers, like Franziskaner, Hefeweizen, and these other, and the real Oktoberfest beers. I swear, the next time we're in the same
Are you
place,
guys Blue Moon kind of
German
guys?
beer.
No,
Blue
I
Moon?
don't like
You guys?
Blue Moon.
Anybody? No.
I
No?
like Blue Moon every
Okay.
occasionally,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
I do
Hey,
want
New
to try.
Yorker?
Have you guys seen the new citrus Corona? Have you seen the advertisements for that? It's
No,
like
I
an
haven't
orange
seen it.
label
You have a
Corona.
citrus one?
I want to try it. Yeah, it's just come out and it's got like an orange on the label.
Okay.
I want to give it a shot.
I'll have to add that to my list.
So let's see. Bronco Rob. Oh, Shy telling us he got his Bo Nix jersey.
Yes, sir.
I
Good
didn't
stuff,
get
good
mine
stuff.
last season, so that's my first jersey purchase of this year for sure. Bronco Rob says still sounds like a Raiders rap group when it comes to Cell Block D. We talked about that earlier in the show, Rob. We said no. Cell Block sounds like their apartment building, but Cell Block D, meaning the Denver D, that's for all Broncos, baby. He also says Corona has some summertime beers that are delicious. I think that's what that citrus one is.
Ooh,
summertime.
especial.
Mhm.
So he says he's had them. They're good.
Nice.
So there we go.
Boom.
I'm excited about it.
Yeah, can't wait to try it.
So real quick, can we talk about primetime games before we get out of here?
Sure.
Okay.
So from what I can tell, we have what, 5? If you count the London game as primetime, even though it's at like 3 a.m. for us.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So yes, so
Would you
that'd
guys
be 5.
count that?
Yeah, because that's the
Yeah.
only game playing at the time. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So 5 primetime games for the Broncos this season.
Potentially
and
6 is the max.
I was gonna say
Is that
how
right?
many would you guys predict would get flexed? Like 1 or 2, 3?
I'd say.
I would just
Ooh. How many can you have in a season?
One.
I think just really for me personally, I think it's just a Green Bay game right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, based on our record, I think anything could happen. Based on the record we
Yeah.
predicted,
Yes.
you know.
Yeah. They're not going to flex
I think
Patrick Mahomes.
anything could happen.
Unless the
No,
Chiefs
they will
play
never-
like unless they play like complete crap, and then there's another game that's just too good to pass up. But other than that,
Yeah. So potentially 6 primetime games for Denver this
I
season.
would say 6. Yeah.
Mhm.
I would say yeah. That's what
Yeah.
I got to end up.
We
with.
haven't
And how
seen
many
those
Monday
numbers
night football games? Do we only have 1 this year?
yeah, just one.
yes.
We have 2 Thursday nights from what I'm
And a
looking
Sunday
at.
night.
A Sunday night football, which is Washington, and then we have the Monday night football. Where did I see it? Against the Bengals.
Okay.
So,
which Dak, that because Dak's show, Broncos Bros, premieres on the Orange and Blue Network next month.
Next month
Dak?
in June. Yep. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, let's go.
I'm excited.
Monday Night Football. On Monday Night Football, man, you're gonna have to give up your slot for the Get Bucked Game Day show and the Buck Your Feelings post game show, bro.
Okay.
But that just means that you got to be over with us on the Get Buck Game Day show, right?
Yeah, for sure. I love it.
Oh man, and since you're on the show, I have to throw it up there for you, bro. Everybody, get ready, because in less than in less than a month, bro, Broncos Bros goes live on the Orange and Blue Network, baby, hosted by that dude over there, Mr. Fanatic Dak Marquette. Yeah, get
I'm
the Broncos
excited.
Bros. Do you even Broncos, bro?
Do you even Broncos, bro?
I love it.
that's catchy.
Catchy. He's a
Yes, sir.
yes, sir. How do you guys feel? 13-4? I mean, I know it's projected by us.
I'd be
Anything
fired
could
up,
happen,
bro.
but I'd be through the roof. I think Johnny, you and I projected before the draft that Denver would be what 12-5, 11-6.
We said
something like
12-5.
that.
We did it.
12
We
and
said
5,
12-5 before the draft.
I
But
mean,
I don't think I
13-4.
expected. When we did that, though, I don't think I expected some of the softness, like in a row. You know what I mean? Like when it comes to like certain games in a row on this schedule that are back to back, that would, so when I look at that, I think that changes things because momentum is everything in the NFL.
Oh, it is for sure.
And so I think that gets us that over that hump, that extra win that, over what we predicted initially.
Riding mile high this year, baby. Riding mile high, baby.
Yes, sir.
Let's elevate.
It's gonna be beautiful.
I love it.
Let's go. It's gonna be great, boys.
All right, Johnny, since I let us in, you can do the honors of leading us out, my friend.
Oh, you're such a mensch. Such a gentleman. Such a gentleman.
Because I don't think Libre's eaten anything yet. This is the longest me and him have ever been on the air.
Oh, dude, I've had my Popeyes. I've had my Popeyes chicken sitting here next to me this entire show. And I can smell it, and I'm just sitting here like, bro, I want my chicken, but I don't want to eat on the show.
I think there was one show where Libre literally started eating the second we went out while the outro was playing. We came back, he was already. I felt so bad. I'm like, damn, dude, I'm sorry, man. That overtime.
For me, usually, bro, it's not hunger. It's not hunger usually at the end of the show. It's I gotta take a piss so bad that I gotta run to the bathroom.
Hey, Libre, did you get your mask dirty when you were eating, bro?
What's that?
Did you get your mask dirty when you were trying to eat?
Oh no, I don't eat with my mask.
Oh no, that's a hell of a dry cleaning bill.
Aw, your poor wife. Anyway, no, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I only drink though, because it's a lot easier.
Waterfall.
Oh, man. All right, guys. So we're gonna get ready to roll out of here, guys. This has been the Orange and Blue Network schedule release mega show. We went for 2 hours and 32 minutes. It was a long one, but you guys held on with us, and we appreciate that. Thank you so much. We're gonna have one hell of a season, Broncos Country and Orange and Blue crew. I am so freaking pumped to share it with you. Man, Broncos Country, here we go. If you have not already, or this is your very first time watching, please like, subscribe, share, and comment on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. Check out the audio version of our podcast wherever you find your favorites. Also, jump on over to our sister station, MHRT Network. Like, subscribe, share, comment on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch. They're even on Instagram. So make sure you show them the love too. Guys, we will be back. Well, our network will have a new show for you on Friday for the Spanish-speaking community. Viva los Broncos! Hosted by
Viva los Broncos!
Those two fine gentlemen right over there. Make sure you catch it, and I will be back next week on Tuesday for the Nothing Rhymes with Orange and Blue podcast. It's been a blast sharing this night with you guys. The Broncos are going to dominate this season. We're about to show the NFL why they should stop underestimating us. This has been a blast. We appreciate you. We will catch you next time. And before we go, a big Mile High salute. And go Broncos!
Let's go.
Go Broncos!
And the Thunder. Go Thunder.
3, 2, 1, go! Stay.